front of him, but that's off, so it doesn't work.
I didn't know if Ben was testing the audio or if he was. Well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. What's going on, people? Welcome to Riot Squadcast. My name is Ed Rodriguez, and we are here on a fine Wednesday night. Oh, it's cool. I can see myself. So I can see I'm on the Zoom that we're doing this through, and then I can also see myself on the TV. I'm gonna be totally distracted. I'm gonna take that off. But anyways, thank you for joining us on a Wednesday night. My name is Ed, as I've said before, and we're always joined by my main man, my best friend, Chris Zero Cool Tucker. What's going on, sir?
I'm chilling, man. Everything's good. Life is good.
Chilling like a villain?
Yeah, man. Life's fine. How are you doing?
Life's good, man. You know, just hanging out, just doing nothing. Schoolwork. Same old,
Suffering,
you know.
for another week.
Dude, doing my thing. Doing okay. Yeah, doing all right, man. You know, staying at home and making sure I don't, blow my brains out just being home all day. So, yeah, that's good.
You're making it. Keeping your head above water.
I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the damn thing.
We tried to not sing the theme song to Good Times 2 weeks in a row.
Two weeks in a row? Yeah, let's not do that. I don't know. I don't know if we've alienated Gen Z now? Who's the new one?
I don't care. I'll alienate all of them. Everyone younger than me is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. You're all fine.
Yeah, you're all beautiful. You're all kings.
Everyone older than me is maybe not everyone. A lot of them are pretty terrible.
Yeah. You know what? It's all you gotta do is focus on you and your family, right?
It's all that matters.
As long as they're fine.
It's all that matters.
Yeah, I agree.
It's weird without you here. I gotta tell the truth. It's the chemistry's not there. Ben's not picking up the football in between. It's rough.
Yeah, look at the screen, dude.
What? I'm talking to you.
Look at the screen.
This is why I don't like this. Because now I'm just talking to Ben. Why would I want to talk to Ben? Hi.
Yeah,
hello,
no,
everyone.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I'm talking to you instead of Ed for some reason.
I'm gonna apologize that you have to be in a room with Benjamin by yourself, but I don't think anyone ever wants that.
You know what the upside of the mask is? I don't have to pretend smile. I can look at the camera as angry as I want. And it's like, oh, his eyes are sinister, but you guys don't know it. There's a smile under here.
That's the thing about the mask, right? Like walking down the street, you're like, I'm looking at somebody, but I'm smiling, like, hey, how's it going? Kind of smile. And it probably just looks like I'm just dead ass just staring at them.
Oh, it's the mask is my favorite thing. We should keep this. Like, if we all survive it, and I'm sure we will, and COVID's all done and we've got our vaccines and whatnot, everyone should keep wearing masks. I tell you, I wear a mask, sunglasses, and Bluetooth earbuds. I'm just in my own world. You go to the grocery store stoned. You're just in your whole own little universe. It's beautiful.
Tuck, how's that really any different?
Than what?
Than pre-wearing a mask. I mean, you still go to the grocery store stoned with sunglasses on.
Yeah, but I feel like they're judging more parts of my face. With the mask, I'm good. Like the mask, it's, there's a solid what?
You feel less judged.
Yeah, I feel like they have less. I care less because I'm in my own world. Like I'm in my own isolated little box. It's lovely. It's okay. You should try it. Everyone should try it.
Yeah, everyone be like Tucker and get high and go to Ralph's.
Yeah. There wouldn't be war. There would be peace on Earth.
Well, it would be a certain kind of war, like fighting over like the last Pop-Tarts and.
Oh, that's right. I got to look at the fucking camera. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, everyone. Maybe someone
decides. Is Ben being a
decides
dictator over there and making you like? Is he being a dictator over there and like making you stare at the camera?
No, he's just like he's looking at me with his beady, angry Canadian eyes.
He's like
I should take a picture of him. He looks like a South Park character, right? He looks like I see why George draws him the way he does. Hold on. Can I take a picture of you like this, Ben? You're good? All right, hang on. Ed, you have to talk. It's an audio medium.
Well, they've lost me now. I'm not on the screen anymore.
Well, don't talk about his fuck up.
Oh no, I'm gonna put. Come on, it wouldn't be the Squadcast if we're not calling people out for not doing their shit.
This is off to a terrible start.
Well,
Am I alone? Am I alone in this? Sorry, I can't look at you.
Ed, when we tested this, it worked totally fine the other day.
It was perfectly fine. Here's the thing. So
does
Ben,
anyone watch this after the fact?
Probably not.
So Ben,
no.
So why can't I just talk to him?
Ben, you want to talk about your upgrades that you made on the studio? Because I know you got a lot of things that have upgraded in there.
Well, it wasn't necessarily as many upgrades as it was. There's one upgrade. We upgraded the call-in iPad so that we could take phone calls again. So, but the other thing is just I was trying to figure a way that we could go live, have you on this TV screen like you are right now, and kind of give it that sort of like you're in the room feel.
Right.
We do miss you though. But
I miss you guys too. I don't miss getting COVID, so I'm just gonna stay at home.
Yeah, I got to be next. It's coming.
No,
I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but it's coming.
You're gonna be fine. I know you're the Teflon.
I took a test today. Yeah, me and the wife took one.
So I took another one because my family won't let me come to Thanksgiving if I'm not negative.
They're kind of blaming it on the COVID. You sure that they want you there?
I don't understand why he's fighting us.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not entirely sure that that's the reason why, is that they just don't want me to go over.
But you got an
out. But I'm sure it might be a reason.
Yeah. Like you got an out, man. Order some pizzas, or whatever meat eaters eat for fun besides pizza. Order some of that. Get really, really eat an edible. You got no kids, man. Fucking chill out. What's wrong with you?
Bro, I got a person who went to culinary school, so we're gonna do like the turkey, the stuff. We're gonna have it all. Like it's still gonna be a Thanksgiving.
You gotta have her like knock out the whole Thanksgiving dinner, like completely cooked, ready to go. All you got to do is warm it up, and then
I'm pretty sure I just have to like
heavy edible, like a heavy indica edible, where she's just like, fuck, I don't want to do anything, and then you're like, boo, don't worry, sit down, I'm gonna make you a plate. And you just bring that bad boy by. Oh my God, come on.
But then I'll be way too stoned and I'll microwave it like on 5 minutes and then just like it's burning hot.
Well, after you have to make sure you don't take your edible until like you've had your food and you're sat down, you're ready to go. It's got to be one of those moments that's about your wife. You got to worry about her plate, worry about her high, and you guys will be all right. That's what you should.
So what you're saying is I got to time it right.
Yeah. Oh, it's all about timing, Edward. Yeah. That whole edible game is about timing. You get yourself in some real trouble.
If you didn't hear Ben right, the phone might be working now. So if you guys do want to call in anytime during the show with any topics or opinions on whatever we're talking about, you guys can give us a call at 562-641-5277. This week we're going to be doing our season review. So we're going to be giving grades to the players. So if you guys have any opinions on anything we're talking about, don't hesitate to give us a call. Also, if you are watching this on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, please hit that like, appreciate that share. We really appreciate you guys joining us on the live chat. It's always fun. So, come and hang out with us. We appreciate that. Yeah. So, quick shout out. We're going to give a quick shout out to Joanna and Leslie. I don't know if you've seen on the link. We posted last week too as well. But man, they had these huge amounts of donations that people came together in helping the people in Guatemala. They recently got hit with a huge storm, and then another one came through maybe like right after a hurricane. Excuse me. So please keep. I know there's a lot of the Central American countries are really hurting right now. So find your local donation centers. I know there's the Galaxy just posted something up about helping out with some donations and aid for Honduras. So keep your eyes out on that. If you can, I know it's so tough right now for a lot of people. So if you can help out, I mean, I would definitely encourage you guys to do.
I asked Joanna if I asked Joanna if she had a quick write up she wanted to toss in for tonight with all the donations that everybody had sent, and she said the donations were incredible. They initially wanted to send one big box of aid, and they were actually able to send 4. They might end up doing it again as the country was hit by a second hurricane. So stay tuned when we hear something about it. We'll let you guys know and keep keep your eye out on Twitter and social media and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's a huge thanks to everyone who has helped and donated. You guys are doing great work, and you guys are really fantastic. Another thing happened this week, Chris. I don't know if people know, but Megapod is happening,
right.
Chris.
Megapod 4, I believe.
Megapod 4, yeah. So if you guys aren't familiar with what Megapod is, it's we've done this where kind of the end of the year. I think we've done it in the beginning of the year sometimes too.
Yeah, we've done it at the beginning of the season and then and the end.
Where you have the accumulation of podcasts come together, basically like of Galaxy podcasts come together and we do one huge show happening this Sunday, I believe at 8 p.m. on Sunday night.
I think it's 8 p.m.
So keep socials because we will be posting more about that, and when more info comes out, we'll let you guys know. So if you are, hopefully you guys listen to other shows like The Stands, LA's Our House, Simply Soccer, of course, Corner of the Galaxy is the big one, Big Daddy. So it's kind of representatives of all the podcasts.
First to 5
the Galaxy
will
World
be there as well. YouTube channel.
Yeah, First to 5, and I believe there's going to be some giveaways as well from oh my god,
Counter Cult.
Cool, thank you. If you like free stuff, I mean, that's another reason to go and watch, I guess.
I think I think we're going to play a round of Know Your History for all the podcast hosts.
Yes.
So I want to see who fucking whoops you. Like I want to be the guy where it's like, come on, Ed, let's do it for the home team. But I know you're going to get embarrassed.
It's not that hard. Like it's not that hard to beat me.
Yeah. The goal as a bar, as a basement for any of the other shows should be to beat. Are you going to be there, Ben? Are you popping in?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Ben's going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
The basement floor of expectation for any of these other shows should be to beat the two of you. At a minimum. I'm not saying you guys got to be great. I'm just saying you got to be able to beat Ben at a minimum.
Look,
that's where the shade is coming for any person that finishes below Ben.
You know the team mantra, man. It's just don't finish last.
Well, yeah.
As long as you're not last, you're fine.
I'm gonna try to throw some answers your way. Nah. I want to see him get embarrassed. So it should be fun, man. We haven't all gotten together to have a conversation about the Galaxy in a long time.
Because here's the thing: is if we are terrible, you get a whole weeks of like shit talking, like putting us down. So I mean, it's a win-win for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be enjoyable for everyone, and we're not really sure which avenue you can go to find it, but we will let you know. And if it ends up being our channel, then you'll just hear it on Sunday night or Monday morning. And if it's not, we'll let you know where you can find it.
Yeah, like I said, just keep an eye on the socials. We'll be posting everything up, and then retweeting and then resharing when we get images and stuff from the other pods. Because it's kind of again, it's
we get some nice. We need listeners to send in hot button Galaxy questions and get those podcast hosts on the record for something outlandish. Something fun. Something that really makes people, dive in.
You're not gonna be able to get Josh to get in those hot buttons, man. He ain't gonna miss that credential.
But then I'm fascinated to hear him talk around it.
Give that Klein answer.
I want to hear, if it's gonna be a Klein answer, I want to hear the Klein answer. I don't know. Josh is a pretty straightforward guy.
Yeah, I know.
He's a pretty straightforward
I'm just
guy.
giving him shit. But no, it's always pretty fun. So if you can check it out, again, reiterating, check the socials. We'll have all the information, everything up there for you guys. So when we know, you guys will know. Megapod Sunday 8:00. Should be live. It might be live again.
Yeah,
we're not sure the details yet.
It's coming,
but we'll let you guys know. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get on to some Galaxy news. I think we need Ben. We need to get like a Galaxy news, like intro, a little ditty. What do you think?
All right, we'll work on it. We'll make sure we have it for next season for sure.
Booyah.
All right, let's. I think one of the biggest ones that is happening this offseason is the Pavone rumors. Thank you, Ben, for he's just flipping me off right now. The Pavone rumors. It's everywhere right now. There's reports from not really I mean, who knows reliable? It's Twitter, like you see it and it gets posted everywhere. But if you follow, it's like on Boca in English is the Twitter page that is retweeting and sharing on these information. Sources are saying that it could be 16 to 18 million, or it could be 8 to 10 million with 70% of his rights for the Galaxy and 30 to Boca. What do you guys think of crazy difference in numbers? Obviously, one side wants they're closer to 20, and then the one side wants closer to 8 or 10 million.
I mean, I think realistically, 8 or 10 is probably more likely to what's going to happen, what's possible. I don't think the Galaxy are looking to spend much more than 11. I mean, 11 seems even like it would be a stretch.
Yeah. So from what they're saying is like, Galaxy's trying to get them to hey, million.
Mm-hmm.
So that should go towards what we're going to buy him out. And then Boca's like, well, we can put that on top of his buyout clause, and you can pay 16 to 18 million, which would be closer to that 20 that everyone you've heard about.
Yeah, I mean it's negotiations. It's weird seeing people. I saw people online getting kind of upset that the Galaxy were offering so little money, and it's like it's a fucking negotiation, man.
Yeah,
nobody's
coming in negotiating to 20. You hey, yeah, 18 million. We'll do that. You
want 20 million? How about 17? No, it's the market is drastically different than when we made the loan agreement, which is Boca's point. When you made the loan agreement and you agreed to pay what you did, it was because your finances were different and the finances of the world were different. So if that deal was going to happen, then that discount can be taken into account. But the Galaxy aren't offering 8 million, saying we paid them 2.5, so that should count as 10. That's not it's a good tactic. I like the shot. I like that you're coming. Yeah, right. I like that. Well, you know what I enjoy? I like that the initial offer is so drastically low that I think it sets the tone for everyone of we value him. We are definitely willing to make a move, and we're willing to make a purchase. We're not here to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, and the situation back where in Argentina where I think their rules are whatever the player is paid overseas and they come back, they have to be paid that amount. So whatever we're paying him, he has to be paid that back in Boca if we don't buy him out or whatever. So yeah, it's negotiations. You're gonna hear crazy numbers. Of course, the Galaxy are gonna want to pay as little as possible since the whole season of not really having any revenue from any of the games and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, but also they understand that Boca Juniors is going to need a cash injection since they're missing that same revenue. They're going to be hurting for money they assumed was coming in. They have salaries that are higher than us on average for their players. Boca's going to need some cash for a player that they probably otherwise don't necessarily want or aren't planning on. You can understand the Galaxy saying, look, you're hurting. I'm willing to pay you some money. I'm willing to pay you some cash right now. 8 million stacks right now. Let me get them. Well, if we sell them, if and when, and I think even getting Christian to sign on to the project is a win for the transfer. For when we sell him out. When we sell him out, we'll cut you some more money. But right now, we're willing to put $8 million in your hand right now. Let's make it happen. Shake on it.
Yeah.
1, 2,
be
3,
like, what team is going to give you $10 million right now?
Mm-hmm.
Hard, straight cash, baby.
Yeah. Cold, hard, ice, cold, Nazi gold.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Francs, baby. Who's willing to put the francs right in your hand? I hope the German currency is francs. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, Matt's gonna be like, these fucking illiterate fucks.
Again, dude, you don't come to the show for geography.
Ah, shit, it's the Deutschmark. What is a franc?
French.
Is it France?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you learned some shit today.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. They use the franc and the euro. All right.
But I mean, if it does happen, it's obviously gonna land somewhere in between, what we're asking for and what they're asking for. That's why the Galaxy start out low. It's like negotiation 101.
It's basic
where
business.
You start out.
But this is why you have, no disrespect to anybody, because I'm not working at all. This is why you have a bunch of people who aren't soccer executives. And it's the reason, like whatever job you have, that's not a soccer executive. It's the reason you never made it into being a soccer executive, because you think an initial offer should be $1 million less than, they've said that they want for him.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason that's the reason in your life that you don't do this. Because AEG is not going to trust you with money. Ed just popped up and the video is awesome. It's like the best moment of my weekend. Stop cursing. What's wrong? You got it working. Ben's all angry over here. No, for me, I would say it's a good opening gambit. It shows the Galaxy are willing to move on if necessary. It shows that they do value him. They do want to purchase him. DTK has been saying that he's in on the project and he's down. It shows intent, shows that they won't be taken advantage of. I don't know. I thought it was I think it's a pretty fair number, really. So I'm down with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember when Landon went over to Everton,
yeah,
and he went on loan. And,
I'm gonna take a drink so I talk for a while.
And we were talking about how the Galaxy and MLS are gonna way overestimate how much Landon's value is, because to the Galaxy and to MLS, his value is way more than what a team like Everton were willing to pay for. It's not going to be what was the number they were trying to give out? It was something like,
I don't remember. It was going to be low.
5 million, 5 to 7 million. It's some crazy number that you're like, no one's going to pay to get Landon Donovan for that much money.
Landon Donovan, when he was, I think that was 2010, 2009, 2010, and then I think he won another time. 2010, Landon Donovan being purchased out of Major League Soccer, $30 million transfer. It's like legitimately like a $35 million transfer is what it would have taken to get Landon out. Like, and at the time, if you're relatively new to soccer globally or the Premier League, like Everton didn't really spend money like that back then.
No.
Like the James Rodriguez shit and Gylfi Sigurdsson, like that's all relatively new Everton. Old Everton wasn't buying Landon Donovan for 30 million pounds, $30 million, whatever. There's that valuation. He is worth more here. Chicha, like Javier Hernandez, Galaxy paid just under what Manchester United paid for Javier Hernandez from Chivas Guadalajara. The Galaxy paid to Sevilla for Javier Hernandez. Obviously, there's inflation of the dollar, there's market inflation, but I don't know who else was buying him for $9 million at the time. He wasn't worth it, but he's worth it here. You're willing. You have to spend that extra money.
Yeah, I think you were having a conversation, I think, with Guessman on the Discord about value of a player. Like he's only worth something that someone's willing to pay for him. And
I don't think so. I think he is worth what two people are willing to pay him. Because there's a sucker born every day. There's a Chris Klein to pay a transfer fee for Gio, to pay a transfer fee for Javier Hernandez.
There's not many Chris Kleins in this world, man.
But that's the thing.
I would hope so.
You got one. Like, let me ask you objectively: is Javier Hernandez worth $9 million in a transfer fee?
No.
Even before what we saw this year when he was at Sevilla, would you think he's worth a $9 million transfer fee?
No, no way.
It's crazy. Like, he's not,
because you can't tell me that he's worth what you paid, basically what you paid Zlatan.
Oh, yeah, for what you paid Zlatan, it's ridiculous. So I don't think he's worth it if one idiot is willing to pay it. If you can find two idiots that are willing to pay it, all right, then he's worth something. Then he's worth that value.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't know.
It's whatever that's. There's like, well, again, it's what we pay is what we're gonna value them, and we value marketing, and that's Chris Klein.
No, it's way less, bro.
Swears that
it's way less, bro.
Chris Klein swears where it's not part of the process.
I love it.
But come on, man. Like
I laughed when I laughed when he said it. Because
it's ridiculous.
Well,
man.
any basic fan, I think, that pays attention to the Galaxy knows that's not true, right? Or at least assumes that's not true, right?
Yeah, I think you can.
You look like you're on cocaine.
Me?
I looked at you on the screen for a second. I was like, oh my god,
I know.
It's having a bad trip.
No, it's because in order to like
We're
not
having
have
a bad
glare
trip
of
in here,
like
man.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, that movie.
Of not having the glare on my glasses, I have my contacts on, and I haven't worn them in a while since I've been at home for a month.
Fair enough.
And what's that got to do with the fact that you like?
Oh, because I'm doing my eyes are bugging me.
No, man, it's not the
YouTube
bad
feed
trip,
just
dude.
got to it, so I saw it again.
What am I doing then?
Your eyes. You look like Rudy Giuliani. Your eyes just keep bugging out.
And your eye, and your dude, and your whole face is red. I don't know like what the lighting is over there, but like
It's the lighting. It's my room. Whatever. Fuck you.
Oh man.
If you didn't give me COVID, Ben, then this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, you're the one that gave me COVID, fucker. I don't even want to hear it.
I just got a screenshot
I don't know.
of it.
Who was symptomatic first, Ed? Who
You.
got sick first? No, you were.
You called me.
I called you because
called
I got
me.
tested. You were symptomatic on Saturday. I didn't start showing symptoms till Sunday.
You know what's great?
Liar.
So when you guys, I knew which avenue you guys were going down for that conversation, and I was like, if I just say in my head that it's gonorrhea instead of COVID, this conversation is going to be far more fascinating for me. And I just hear Ben like, who was symptomatic first? You were. You gave it to me.
Well, we know who have gonorrhea. Like that's just like, come on.
Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah. Come on. We all know what's going. We all know that one.
Now I feel better.
All right. So moving on from the Pavon rumors, who knows what he's already back in like Argentina right now, and he's chilling with his family. So
Good.
We'll see when that unfolds in the next couple of weeks. Moving on, there is some injury news. Ralph Felcher, who played for Venezuela a couple days ago, got injured. Who cares? Moving on.
Damn. Cold-blooded.
Does anyone care? Does anyone care? Really?
He's not like really a Galaxy player anymore, is he? Like we don't even have to pretend care.
Well, here's the thing and this is leading into the next thing we're talking about, the deadline for roster options. There's teams who, literally the next day, if they're, after the season's done, declines and does their whole, roster options, and it takes, usually the Galaxy waits till like the last minute to do anything. So, we'll see if they pick him up for another year. I don't know what his contract situation was. I know
I think
when
he's supposed to be out this year.
Okay.
He got a 1-year extension to basically let Julian, as far as we know, MLS you never really know, but to allow Julian to kind of mature into that role, which he clearly has done, and I think he's all done.
So the deadline is November 30th at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so 10 o'clock over here on the West Coast. So it's MLS clubs not competing in the Audi 2020 MLS Cup playoffs. Must notify the league office in writing of a bona fide offer and exercise options. So within 2 weeks?
12 days.
A little less than 2 weeks. We'll figure out who.
We're supposed to say 12 days from recording. That's what you're supposed to say.
Yeah, there you go.
Professional world. And
so we'll see who gets their option picked up, and I would be, I wouldn't be shocked if there's probably a good chunk of people that you won't see on this team next year. Is that really?
I would, you would hope so for sure.
Yeah.
There's more than a few. There's more than a few that should be moved on.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to happen or if there's a mechanism to allow it to happen. But there's more than a few guys who kind of need to make their way.
So yeah, Ralph injured. Who doesn't really affect us. We probably won't see him in a Galaxy jersey come next year, but that's Galaxy news for you right there. Moving on, there is some G2 news, Chris.
Boom! Let's go. Now I'm in. Do you see my jersey?
Reported. Yeah. Oh,
I brought it here, but the cameras aren't working anymore, so I can't show you. But it's fucking gorgeous.
I think they're back on.
Are we back on? Where's my jersey?
Yeah.
Is Is it right here? Let me show you, Ed. Hang on. I'm gonna get up.
Okay. So it's gonna take a while because you're on a 20-second delay where I can see you.
I'm contaminated.
So what Chris is gonna show me is his USL jersey, and I'll let him talk to you about how
we're on.
He was able to get that for you, or get that for him.
Oh, can you hear me, Edward?
I mean, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I shouldn't have taken my fucking earbud out. God damn it! What a nightmare. All right, there we go. Much better.
What's going on?
We're getting there. So let me show you. I got fucking the big dog, man, the big kitty, Mr. Kevin Hartman, hooked me up with an authentic Galaxy 2 home jersey. New with tags, bro. Pop this bitch on eBay. You like this shit, man? You see this?
Again, you're on the 20-second delay, so I have to wait till you lift it up on the YouTube stream.
Point, but yeah, man.
I will see it at some point. Yeah.
I'll just sit down now. But yeah, it's fucking.
But yeah. No, I saw the picture you posted. Yeah, that's nice.
Kevin's the man.
That's clean.
Big shout outs to the big puma, the big kitty.
Hey man, he's got nice penmanship.
Yeah.
I like how that's the most impressive thing I see about the jersey.
You're such a funny 13-year-old girl.
Oh no, my handwriting is chicken scratch. So and every time I see someone who has like good penmanship, it impresses me.
But yeah, I love that jersey. And look, don't let anybody tell you it's just a plain, because I thought it's just a plain, like white, like the exact same mock-up of the 2020 Galaxy home jersey. I thought it was just that without the like weird sash, but it's got this etching design on it that you have to see it really up close to really notice. It's so much better than the Galaxy home jersey. It's so much better. I don't understand why they don't sell it. It doesn't make any sense.
I think we even commented on how like the away jersey is a better looking jersey too.
Yeah, they're both better. Like,
yeah,
I don't know why they don't sell it. Like there are people who there are completionists who would buy every Galaxy 2 jersey. Like, why wouldn't you offer it? It doesn't make any sense to me why they wouldn't offer it. But this is, I think this is my third. I mean,
you definitely would have people buy it.
I think this is my third iteration of USL specific Galaxy 2 jerseys. And like, I think I'm on a streak now if you are a completionist, like I got the fucking G2 set. Let's keep it going.
Well, it's nice now that they're going to kind of have a little bit of, difference between the first team and the second team.
Yeah. The crest is different. It's a different jersey. It is a different, superior jersey. No two ways about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand why they wouldn't sell that. I mean, it
doesn't make any sense to me.
It seems like it's extra revenue that they're not getting.
Yeah. But big shout out to Kevin Hartman, my mans. Thank you for letting me bother you and you hooking it up. Customized and everything is beautiful. It says 0 cool with the number 0 on the back. So it's phenomenal. Appreciate it, brother.
So the reason why we're talking about the G2 is that, what was that?
Those are the perks.
The perks.
Somebody was like, ooh, what a flex. I was like, oh, that's a nice way to put it.
So the reason why we're talking about G2 right now is because it was announced that they will be staying in the USL Championship in 2021. I know there was concern that G2 would be, I guess, playing in the MLS Reserve League that's starting up next year. And so it is confirmed that they will stay in the USL Championship, which I think me and Chris are in agreement where that's where they should.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a higher level of competition that they're going to face in the MLS Reserve League. Again, what we always talk about when we're talking about the G2 games is these guys are playing against, most of the time they're playing against, professionals who, are trying to transition into either, these teams who want to be in the next level or then players want to be in the next level. So it's definitely a higher level of competition for these guys. And if we want to see them develop, I think that's definitely where you want to see these guys.
Absolutely. It's a better league. We don't know what the reserve league is going to be just yet because obviously it's yet to kind of develop and show itself.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the reasons, what's called MLS 2 teams, so Galaxy 2, Toronto 2, Portland 2, one of the reasons that was named for them dropping out of USL is a competition level. Mm-hmm. They're getting killed. Like it's not that it's not helping their kids develop, but their kids are clearly behind the standard of the league. And so it's there needs to be a different level for them to compete at because USL is not working. Galaxy 2 was the only MLS 2 team to make the playoffs this year. And they didn't do it playing rugged soccer or, hard nose or just, bowling over people. Like they played good, attractive, technical. They played football. Like they played good soccer.
Yeah.
This is for me, of my opinion, if the Galaxy are interested in at all, this is the right move. This is the level that we are aspiring for our teenagers to be at. And it's the right move to keep them in a position to push them. My only concern, you look at players like an Augie Williams. You look at, who's another good one? I look at Augie Williams. Augie's a good example. I look at Augie and there's a call for him to go to the first team. And if that happens, peace and blessings to the brother. But if Augie is to move on because he feels like he is at a lower level MLS level or an upper echelon USL level, just of what I've seen, I don't think Carson Klein is at that USL level. I don't think, and that's like one position where, Walter Portales, like these young kids that we have backing up at forward, I don't think they're at that level. I would assume in that case we would need to bring in another forward, or maybe Cameron Dunbar steps down because COVID's not as big of an issue and we have a chance to bring in another forward, because Dunbar can be at that level. But it's just of the kids we currently have, the crop we currently have, and I haven't heard of anything coming out of the academy that would lead me to think we have, a kid on the cusp ready to make that jump. If someone like Augie decides to step on, the current crop we have isn't ready for that level at that specific position. We're strong in a lot of other places. But I want to see how we start transitioning the younger 15 and 16-year-olds into the G2 first team, or
right.
At least getting subbed in regularly to hopefully get them ready. So if you move someone like Augie on, they're ready to go.
So just do it real quick. I mean, we don't know what the reserve league's going to be, but would your position still be the same if it's easier for the reserve league guys to move up and down? Because that's kind of what it seems to me, that the reserve league guys will be able to come up to the first team, fill in spots for injuries and things like that on a much easier as far as paperwork goes, as far as loan deals go. I mean, there is no loan deal. It's just, hey, you just bring a guy up from.
Well, they in the old days they were a part of the 30-man roster.
Yeah,
like they were first team guys.
So it would depend on how they're going to do it.
That's the thing. If you keep a reserve league where Ethan Zubak and Cameron Dunbar are playing every week, actually get to play soccer, competitive, not scrimmages, not practice, but get to play competitive soccer every weekend. Like we have if we're looking as an organization, if we can play basically graduate level academy kids at USL level, then we have a level of depth going down in the levels. Not first team, obviously we don't, but going down deeper in the levels of the club. We have a depth where you can play. Chicharito, for example, can play 90 minutes at forward, and whoever his actual backup forward that comes in, gets some sub minutes. Ethan Zubak, Cameron Dunbar get to play every week. Christian Pavon, let's say he stays. Christian Pavon plays 90 minutes at left wing. Kai Koreniuk can go play a reserve league game. And it's not messing up Ivan Gutierrez at G2 because he still gets to play every week.
Yeah.
Like if we have the depth, it's just creating a system that allows Giancarlo Gonzalez to play through his issues that he was having on the field and mentally get back in his game. Or if Nick DePuy keeps fucking up and loses his spot again, well, he's going to get to play through all these things rather than just sitting on the bench. So I like the reserve league. I like the idea of guys getting games. Go ahead.
You give guys like, Von Stieg and Lopez some actual minutes where they can, get competitive and stay sharp.
Absolutely. Eric Lopez wasted a year. Like Eric Lopez had a year of, not wasted, but he wasted a year because he could have gone on loan to a USL 1 team He could have gone on loan to a USL2 team and played soccer. If you want to bring through the younger kids we have at G2 for keeping, well, that's great. But Eric Lopez, Justin Vom Steeg just wasted a year of their career, of their development. They practice with a certified number one, and in Justin and Vom Steeg's case, they brought in a number two over him. Like if reserve is at least allowing Lopez and Vom Steeg to rotate some games out and play every other week, like that's not bad. They're young goalkeepers. They need to be playing. They need to be playing at some level. They're not playing at, they're not playing competitive soccer at any level right now. So we are one of those rare clubs. If we could just goddamn get the first team fixed, we're one of those rare clubs that can realistically float a first team, an MLS Reserve League, and a team in the USL Championship that might not be competing for the title, but is at least going to be competitive and push the young kids that we have here. Because you get 15, 16, 17-year-olds on a first team deal ready to move in when somebody gets injured. We have an injury crisis, and you can play, for Kranis, or you can play, I guess I was going to say Jesus Vasquez, he's a little older, but you can play Mauricio Cuevas, because you have, Didi Traore goes down injured, and Sua's on a FIFA date. You get to call that kid up because he's playing in the reserves. That's great. That's amazing. And we get them ready by having them competing regularly at USL level. I'm concerned about the people who come up after Mauricio Cuevas, because Cuevas ready. You know what I mean? Cuevas ready.
Yeah.
Augie ready. Jonathan Perez. Jesus. Jonathan Perez reserve ready for sure.
Yeah.
Reserve ready for sure. But I want to see.
And that's the thing, is these kids are still 17.
They're babies, man.
18. Most of them 17, under 17, starting for the G2 starting 11. It's like, it's crazy.
They're pro soccer players, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Like, we get that, but they need to be playing games, and we can keep them with the reserve league. We can keep them in-house playing games. So I'm all for it, man. Anything that lets one of our two prospect goalkeepers get to play regularly, I'm all for it, with competition.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue too is that the MLS Reserve League is going to have, all these, two teams or whatever that were in the championship, and they were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's going to be the level of competition in the Reserve League, like, you definitely want the G2 to stay in the championship.
Absolutely. And us staying in the championship gives me one more chance to win a USL championship title. I want it so bad, Ed.
Get the jersey with the patch on it.
I want it.
Or whatever.
Come on.
Or whatever the USL champions get
Let's
on their shit.
Let's go. How about give me a dream world? And I know they scrapped it, but give me a dream world where Galaxy 2 go on a US Open Cup run and win the damn thing and get to go to the Champions League. Let's go, man.
That's okay, sure.
Let's go.
All right, moving on from G2, we're going to talk about this fan-voted Kona Brewing Company Best 11 that came out. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the Galaxy social media in the last couple of days.
A little bit.
But they've been having like a fan vote of, who would you have as your starting keeper, but your defense, and so on and so forth. I'm going to go through this, and then we'll see how you guys agree, disagree, whatever, if you replace the player or not. All right, that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
So as the keeper, you have Kevin Hartman. I mean, that's given.
Do you want us to go? Are you going through the whole list? Do you want us to go one by one?
Do you want me to do the whole list, or do you want to go
Let's
by
go
one?
One by one. Just keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, one by one.
So keeper, you have Kevin Hartman.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right.
Bang on.
Of
correct.
course.
Well done, everyone.
Ben's favorite player.
Well done, everyone.
Your three-man back line of
Doesn't make
Van
any
Dam. What was that?
Doesn't make any sense.
Van Dam, Omar Gonzalez, and AJ De La Garza.
Ben, why don't you go first?
I mean, this is the problem when you get fan voted things. You have to end up with a 3 in the back type of thing, because
and it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest. You want to see more forwards.
And And obviously, you're going to see newer players over the older players because it's just
Yeah.
recency bias and all that stuff.
Exactly. I mean, but when you think of Tuck, you did one of your personal best 11 things, and when you look at some of the players that we had on defense, I mean, God bless Van Dam, you know, but
that list is ridiculous.
and same thing with God bless AJ, but I mean, you know,
AJ makes my list.
Well, of course he does. AJ makes most.
AJ has played more minutes than any defender in the history of the team on championship sides.
And AJ will win almost every single fan vote.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It further highlights the ineptitude of the people who run the organization.
Yeah.
That they had a guy who's played more minutes than every defender in the history of their club in championship winning sides.
He priced himself out of the market. Or no, that was Sean that priced himself out of the market.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean,
but Sean, to me, Sean, I'm a big Sean guy, you know.
Sean's on my. But whenever I make these, I have to do a team that makes sense. Like a weird 3-4-3.
Like a team that you would actually put there out on the field together.
When I make a Galaxy 11, I want to dream about how that team would play.
See, now this is Chris OCD right here. This is Chris Galaxy OCD, like coming to the front right here. Like he could.
When have we ever fucking played a 3-4-3?
No, absolutely.
When have we ever played a 3-4-3?
You are 100% right. But
who has put Robbie Keane on the far right side?
Every single fan vote. I mean, you know, if it's going to be a fan thing, you got to get the stars in there. You got to get the guy. You know.
Well, look, we got to be realistic with ourselves.
I think
relatively,
arguably the only person on that list that shouldn't be on there in the back line is Van Dam. Like I can see an argument for Omar.
Okay. Yes.
I can see an argument for AJ.
You know
who do you replace him with? That's the question.
With Yella?
Yeah.
Donovan. All day, every day.
Look, there's I love Yella.
Okay, but now you're doing positionally too. But I mean, if you thought like guys like Robin Fraser.
Robin Fraser for me, yeah.
Caligieri. I mean, like, you know, who? Some of the early guys.
If you're going just positional,
you can even argue. You can argue
just defenders. Like, don't worry about position across the back line.
Omar's
just defenders.
Fair.
I mean, Berhalter. Well, maybe not Berhalter. He played 2 years, but
Berhalter wasn't better than Yella. That's a thing. I don't understand how they design these lists, because is it best single year performance, or is it?
See, this is Chris again going in the OCD.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
He looks way too into it.
This is OCD philosophical. I mean, like, this is Chris at 2 a.m. Are they doing this by single year?
Okay.
Are they doing it? Chris, like, this doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. If it's cumulative, if it's their total career, fuck you. If it's their total career, it's a disorder. If it's their total career, then Yella has no business on that list. Yella's no business on that list. If it's single year, then you know, etch the man's name in stone.
The only criteria is that it's the LA Galaxy all-time team chosen by the fans.
Fan team, yeah.
It's a fan team. It's a fan vote.
If it's single year, but that's
which
why
is funny. Funny because some like international outlets picked this up and was like talking about like, what was that?
Because Jared didn't make it.
Yeah. And so, like, some of the stars that made it were like, it's so funny that they thought it was a real, like, legit.
I saw someone who was
all-time 11.
I'm sorry, you should finish your list. But Yella, love Yella to death. If it's single year, Yella makes sense. If it's cumulative career, Yella doesn't make sense.
All right, so going cumulative, Tuck, who do you replace Yella with?
Cumulative, Todd Donovan.
Ed?
Yeah, Todd. Every day, all day.
All right, yeah.
Not even close. And you know what? Ashley Cole is over Yella. Let's be fair. Like the only thing that keeps Todd Donovan above Ashley Cole is like time served and championships. Which, don't get me wrong, they're very super important. But if it's like what you got to watch that guy do as a specialist in that position, Ashley Cole was nonsensical. I have never been so fucking incorrect about a player at any sport on any team in my entire life like I was about Ashley Cole. Like, actively should never live that down. Outside of that one dude, I want to say on LA is Our House, who was like, Ashley Cole had a bad year. And it's like, yeah, I remember that shit. And it was like, Ashley Cole had a bad year. And it's like, you've lost your mind. There's something wrong with you.
All right, midfield, Ed.
Midfield,
I didn't mean to take a shot at that guy. Was that a shot?
No, you're fine.
That's cool.
We're just going. We're going on.
Right before the Megapod, man.
We'll deal with it on Sunday.
Let me tell you some shit.
Yeah.
Midfield
consists of
love.
It's like the lead up to SummerSlam or something. You know, Tuck's got to build that. You know, he's got to.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania, fucking 1 year build.
Ben, stay in your lane, okay?
Hey, I couldn't think of the name.
He said SummerSlam instead of WrestleMania.
I meant
I know.
WrestleMania.
Idiot. Your midfield are Juninho, Beckham, Cienfuegos, and which funny is this was a funny thing that someone posted on Chris's 11. But Kobe Jones, not the other one.
So Kobe Jones, absolutely, obviously belongs in there. To. But again, this is a point. I'll summarize. I'll summarize it at the end. Kobe obviously belongs in there. For every person who was like Jermaine Jones, over under 10, you think you were to get that joke in? Like, what level of creativity do you really think you are?
Look, if you were like the first one, okay, fine.
But the first one, happened like immediately, and then for the next, because this is on Fleet. I fucks with Fleet. I like Fleet on Twitter. Y'all need to stop complaining. Y'all need to stop being angry. Do you understand there's a global pandemic killing old people? You're upset that Twitter changed something. You don't like Twitter?
Or
stop fucking using it.
It copied another social media.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You know what that means? I now no longer have a reason to go to Instagram. Lovely. It's great.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I can do the exact same thing on Instagram stories to Twitter and reach people that I would rather talk to about soccer. It's lovely. Just stop with the same jokes. Kobe Jones obviously belongs on there. Who was the next one?
You have Juninho, Cienfuegos, and Beckham.
Cumulative career? Beckham? Cumulative? You go Beckham's entire career on the Galaxy.
I think of those. Well, here's the thing, though. I mean,
it's 2 years he wasn't an asshole.
You don't have the Galaxy like the way they are if it's not for Beckham.
That's
like
true.
You don't. He changed the game.
That's true.
Hate him or love him. It's just it is what it is.
That's true.
I feel like the only one that you could argue about is going to be Juninho.
Yeah.
As much as I love him, I don't know, man.
Juninho,
all-time 11.
Juninho Juninho is a personal choice.
Yeah.
Juninho is someone putting their finger on the scale a little bit to say, and you know what Juninho is? I if he didn't come back as a trainer, do you think he still wins that spot?
Oof. I mean, maybe I think it's like an AJ thing. You know, he was loved by the fans, so maybe.
Okay.
And again, it's recency bias. So you have a lot of people who would know.
That's what I'm thinking.
A Juninho,
and it seems it's dynasty biased more than recency biased.
It helped. I mean, he was integral though.
Yeah.
He was way more fucking important than Beckham was. Like he was. Yeah. I mean, look. It's again though. It's one of those things. It ain't crazy. It's not insane. If Michael Stevens made the all-time 11, I got to have a word with all of you. I need to talk to everyone. But
I think we need to put up a poll and see people who even know who Michael Stevens is anymore.
I can do that right now. Number 26, Mr. Stevens. Yes, sir. I'm going to put that up right now. I need you to talk for a bit. But hey, Juninho, you can talk me into. You could talk me into Juninho.
It's not outlandish. It's not totally crazy. Yeah.
It's a little out there.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a little out there.
What I'm saying is the one you could probably like.
Okay, so Ed, who are you going to replace him with? Who are you going to replace him with?
Oh man.
I mean,
that's the question.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's kind of like I said, it's dynasty bias. If you look at the overall career, I mean, did well for himself.
I mean, he did bring us what? He was there for 3 of the championships, so
you could talk me into it.
Yeah.
And then what was it, Cien?
The front three. Landon, Keane, and Ibra.
So let me add one quick thing. Like, if you are going to replace Juninho with a midfielder, and we're not taking positions into account, we're just going across the board. I mean, you put a guy like maybe a Mike McGee in there.
Oh yeah, Mike McGee's fair. I love Mike McGee.
Mr. October or November.
He was on my bench for past 11.
So, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, if I was going to take anybody out, put somebody in, is maybe a Mike McGee for Juninho.
Okay. Yeah.
And especially for a guy who was like not really a midfielder.
Yeah.
Mike McGee.
Yeah.
The overall utility man. Played forward, played attacking mid, played left wing.
Played his best years for us on the left. Yeah.
Oh, him and Keane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, no, him and Beckham, man. For some, like they had
Just
like
Mike and
a
everybody,
weird
man.
magnetic connection, man.
Mike's just, he might be all, MAGA open the country and all that, but like Mike was just the shit. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure he did. I shouldn't say I'm sure.
It's not that far. I just think he's like, a lot of people were just when things open up.
You know what it is? You want to know? He sells a vodka. He sells a vodka, and he's
got a business, man.
Yeah, it's fucking his company up a little bit.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, that doesn't make you an asshole. He's just like, yo, man, I put money into this thing and was kind of expecting to see some shit back this year. Like, can we get people back in a situation where they can have a drink? I get it. If you're smart enough to stay home when you're supposed to stay home, what Mike McGee says shouldn't really affect your shit. But yeah. I get his position. Yeah, he's all right.
All right, so the first team 11 chosen by fans, the strikers are the forwards you have is Landon, Ibra, and Robbie. What
worked for me was like I had Landon on my all-time 11, but I just played him at left wing. He used to play left wing. It works. Like, it still fits. He's just midfielder Landon Donovan. If it's cumulative career, still works. If it's single season, still works because that guy's amazing. You can't argue with how do you argue with Robbie Keane and Zlatan Ibrahimovic? What a sentence. What a sentence. Like, hold on. How about this sentence? I had to kick Landon Donovan out of my forward line of Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Robbie Keane. Like, to dream of better days. When shit was a little bit easier.
I know.
Disgusting team. Potentially disgusting team.
Those are the days. Anyways, that was the LA Galaxy Kona Brewing Company all-time team as chosen by the fans.
Somebody was like, somebody sent me a message, was like, Carlos Ruiz would like a word. I was like, with whom? Yeah. With the forward who was a captain on championship winning sides, who kept Beckham from being an embarrassing failure, or from the guy who averaged a goal a game for 2 years at 37 years old, who averaged better than a goal scoring contribution every game for 2 years, who at 37 played almost every single game while he was on the Galaxy. Like a guy who you could just trust to figure it out. Who would Carlos Ruiz like to have a word with? Is it the guy who scored one more goal than him in the 2 years he was here? Sir, calm down. With all due respect to Carlos Ruiz, sir.
And
please sit down.
And how can you not have, you got to have him because he's the guy who has the most goals in a season. Like, you have to have a guy on your all-time 11.
I asked him a simple question. Okay, who are you dropping? I didn't get a message back. I think I got my answer.
I mean, there's no disrespect to
all due respect,
Ruiz.
All due respect.
We could have just played. Yeah, I mean, it's a fan 11. Just play a 2-4-4.
Yeah, just why not 5 forwards up there?
Yeah.
Yellow doesn't belong on there. You take him off. Put a Pescadito on. Everybody wins.
There you go.
Everybody wins.
That'll work. All right, moving on to the next one. MLS is rumored to be targeting a March start for 2021. This is kind of surprising because we've heard a little bit about the start of next year. We've heard that maybe it might not start in March. Maybe it might start on the UEFA the calendar.
European calendar, yeah.
The European calendar. Sorry, excuse me. So we've heard that it could start as late as May into June. So that way it can give us a little more time for the COVID vaccines and all that to take effect, and to have fans in the stands and because MLS is not is kind of hurting for money right now. So what do you guys think? Starting in March, you think it's going to happen?
I do. I think that they can plan all they want, but I mean, so much of this shit is up in the air. I mean, you got to plan. I get that, but I mean, realistically, things aren't going to change between now and March.
We got to see, because they might change in a really, really bad way.
Yeah,
we got to see where. We got to get through the winter, man. We got to get, which is easy if you're just trying to get to March, but we got to see where these numbers go, and this isn't going to get into everybody's fucking COVID shit, but if these numbers keep spiking and keep going up like they look like they are, that may not be a priority. But if we can rope this shit in, or if these vaccines work and they start knocking this shit out, we'll see. If they're saying at the state progression of the vaccines that we're not getting back to quote unquote, returning to normalcy until next summer. If we're at a point where we're getting close to returning to normalcy in the summer, I have to imagine by March, they're like, all right, well, we must be good enough to be in a position where they can play. Athletes can keep playing if we're returning to normalcy a couple months later. So if that's the case, then yeah, I think MLS is going to go ahead with it fucking regardless, unless they're like death numbers like crazy. Garber ain't gonna give a fuck. The last time it was spiking when we did MLS is back. It was all the records that are getting broken in Florida now, they were setting the records the last time we started. So unless people are dying left, right, and center, I can't, and we had half of a 9/11 today. I can't imagine they're going to scrap that. Like if they're trying to stick to a March schedule, it would have to be. I think it'd have to be really bad for them to call it off.
All right. I completely agree. I think MLS is going to want to start as soon as possible and have fans in the stands so that way they can get that revenue back to where it was before. And with a new team coming in the season in Austin, and that's going to be a whole thing. Yeah. So,
I mean, when you think of a March start, though, you're talking about a mid-January training camp. Yeah. Things opening up.
Well, they're trying to do it like normal.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're planning to do a full season, full length, all the matches back to normalcy, at least as far as the players are concerned. I don't know. We'll see.
And it's this is also maybe I'm wrong, Craig, you might know more, Ed. Isn't 2021 the last year that they said for local TV deals?
Yeah, let's go.
Stop? Yeah.
So
package that shit up, B.
They got to be. I mean, that has to be in the back of their mind, So they got to be like, we got to get a full season in. We have to do, So that could also be in the consideration for starting in March.
Well, especially if everyone's
they would want the fans to get in the stands, so that way it makes it a little, they can sell it more. And
unless it's the only way you can watch your team. The only way you can watch your team all season is on television.
I mean, you guys aren't old enough to, I mean, maybe you are. Are you old enough to remember the local blackouts? Like when you couldn't watch a Dodger game that was at home unless you were in Dodger Stadium?
Doesn't that still happen for football? That still happens for football, doesn't it?
For football.
I know for the Chargers, they blacked out a couple games right before they moved. Because it happened at Jacksonville Jaguars a lot. That's when they were talking about moving them here. If they didn't sell out the games, they would make it so you couldn't watch a game locally. But we're not. That's
imagine
not
if
what
they
it's
did
gonna
that
be.
though. Imagine if they did something like that.
But how would that work? Because nobody can go to the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in normal times.
Oh, well, I don't care. I'll be at the game. It doesn't affect me. I will have a ticket and I will go see it because I'm addicted to this stupid. I'm addicted to Chris Klein ruining my day.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Isn't that really what it comes down to?
We've well established that with your 2 a.m.
Isn't that? But isn't that?
But we've established that anybody who pretty much listens to the show and is a regular listener is in an abusive relationship with reality.
You're just like we're all just cool with Chris Klein fucking up our week over and over and over again, and it'll just keep happening, and we're just gonna keep doing it. But yeah, I'll be there if it's normal. So I guess it's all good. All fine.
Or whatever normal it'll be in 5 months.
Chris Klein, he'll still be there. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's no normal. It's Chris Klein fucking up the galaxy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Everything's fine. Global pandemic.
All right. Moving on to the next topic is, I don't know if you gentlemen saw that.
Imagine they fired Chris Klein and the next day they were like, "We have a COVID vaccine." Wouldn't you all assume that shit's connected?
Oh yeah.
You're like,
because
it's God.
When Chris Klein is fired, that means miracles are possible, and that means COVID is going to go away.
We can. It's going to be like the end of the Wiz. We're just going to be dancing in the street.
Yeah.
Thank you for a brand new day.
I haven't seen the movie in so long.
Yeah, we should watch that shit.
We should watch The Wiz. Sorry. But if you guys saw that the at MLS released their top 25 or top 10 jersey selling, whatever the hell, and your boy, your favorite player, Chicha, came in at number 2 on the best-selling jerseys in 2020.
He did what?
I said, Chicha came in number 2.
Really? God, that's amazing. You know what? You know why you got to be happy for that? When you sign a player and marketing is way last, is dead last on your list of all the things you could possibly be focused on when you sign a player. You make sure marketing is look, Ed, there's no way to prove it. You just got to take me at my word.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to prove it, but marketing is way last. When marketing is way last and your player just happens to come in number 2. I mean, that's exec of the year. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that he did this without even knowing that they were going to sell jerseys.
How could you? Who would have fucking thunk it?
Yeah, who would have saw it?
Who could that you would hire a general manager and a head coach and have your technical director and your scouting team, and as you guys are pouring through lists and lists, if you believe them. You guys are pouring through lists and lists of forwards.
They were going through every country looking for.
Oh God, we got scouts every 4 corners of the world, Ed. The network we got here is insane. And understand, marketing way last. After scouring the globe with our head coach in mind, with our general manager in mind, technical director, who's also the head scout, all working around the world through all the players that are available, you all somehow settle on one guy. And in settling on that one guy, marketing, way last, so far down the list. That guy happens, by the grace of God, inshallah, that guy happens to be the number 2 jersey seller. I mean, that's exec of the year. Number 1.
I mean, the guy does
deserves give him a 5 year.
5 years, 5 more years, at least deserves 5 more years.
Chicha! I love Chris Klein. He's amazing.
And then also Christian Pavone and JDS Jonathan Dos Santos in the top 25.
Love it.
Of jerseys sold in 2020. So, they're making money.
That's if you're keeping track, that is a step down from Zlatan's number 1 jersey seller.
Number 1, but I mean, come on.
Keeping track.
Yeah, I mean,
Cha.
There's no one. Chicha. He'll get there. Maybe next year.
Couple more goals. I think
goals,
if you didn't have COVID keeping people out of the arena, like he lost to Carlos Vela, which isn't entirely surprising. You didn't have COVID. You didn't have a lot of people losing their jobs, and you didn't have the season he ended up having. He'd give you a run. He's right up there. But
look, man, he's working out in car parking lots or wherever the hell he's at, doing his workout and getting ready for the season. So I mean,
and both of them skipping MLS's back didn't seem to hurt. Like Carlos Vela ended up getting hurt and was out for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah,
still sold a lot of jerseys. Javier Hernandez still sold a lot of jerseys. I will continue to not understand why Major League Soccer doesn't release the new jerseys for each season in November or at the top of December so people can buy them as gifts. It's never made any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense to me why they don't put themselves in a position for the biggest shopping day or the biggest shopping time of the year where, like, my wife, for Erica, she could just go, I'm going to get Chris a new Galaxy jersey for Christmas every year. I'd be happy. Guaranteed gift. I'm happy with.
It would be the easiest gift. Like you would buy,
absolutely,
40,000, 50,000 people.
Yeah. And it's not going to be me getting a jersey 2 years after it was out for cheaper, which is what I actually do. It's not going to be me waiting till I find it on sale somewhere, which is what I actually do. Like, it's me getting a brand new jersey. It'll be at full price every year. Guaranteed sale. It makes no sense to me. Like a group that's completely run by, air quotes, business sense. It just seems easy. Yeah, it's always seemed easy.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. All right, that's your Galaxy news. Moving on, we're going to do our season grades. So I wrote down each name in a random generator.
Generator.
And then generator. Sorry, excuse me. And so I gave each of us have 8 players we're going to grade, with 4 not being graded because they played 0 minutes.
Who were they?
Vamsteeg. I'm sorry.
Who were they? I was going to say you should name them.
Oh, Vamsteeg, Eric Lopez, Jonathan Perez, and Danilo Acosta.
Danilo Acosta. Can I give a quick grade for each though?
Okay. Sure. I was going to give him an NA for not applicable, but you know.
I was going a D for Acosta because he got hurt. A solid B for Jonathan Perez.
So you can't. That's not his fault.
Well, it's not his fault, but he lost an entire season of his career. I mean, it's not a. Okay. I want to give him an A for not being able to play. Like he wasn't a part of this year. I guess he's the best person on the first team. Perez, I gave a solid B. He didn't really make it to the first team, but it turned out to be in his best interest because he ended up quarantined down with G2, which worked out really well. Really embedded himself into that team.
I got more minutes than, Dunbar and all these other guys.
He should be a guaranteed starter for next year for G2. Then it was Lopez is a D, complete waste of a year. Vamsteeg gets an F. Not only was it a waste of a year, we actually went and brought somebody in over you. He should have alarm bells going on, and hopefully the reserve league gives him something to compete for, but it might be time for him to saddle on up and ride.
All right, so this is what we'll do so we can keep it kind of tight. We'll go 4 players each, and so we'll do 2 rounds of 4 players each, all right?
Sure.
So
Ben's laughing at you.
Tucker, that's fine. Tucker, you give us your first 4 players.
My first 4 players, I have Sasha Kleshin, David Bingham, Julian Araujo, and Emiliano Insua. I gave Sasha a B. We had pretty low expectations, and not so much on the field, but I think kind of overall and with the fan base, he became that voice, that face, who spoke to the fan base regularly and seems very cordial and on good terms with the press. When he did play, I got more than I really expected out of him coming into the year, realistically. And
especially at the end of the year.
Yeah, and he seems like he really, really, really fucking wants to be here. And kind of looking at how this year's gone, we need that. For Bingham, I gave a D. It's hard to give any goalkeeper. It's hard to give him an F given what he had in front of him all year. It was pretty porous. He wasn't great. That's why I don't bail him out with a C. He definitely is not passing the grade here.
No,
but I can't completely tank him because he was often put in really bad positions and he wasn't capable of getting us out of it. Julian Araujo, I gave a C. Played 17 games. Got 1,298 minutes as someone trying to earn a starting spot, which he obviously nailed down and took care of. His cards,
rough. A C?
His card situation, man. Like his card situation is he got 6 yellow cards, and 2 reds in 17 games. I mean, he comes back from suspension, gets himself suspended again, comes back from that suspension, gets himself a yellow card again. He just, I don't know. I think he gets a little too in his head. First half of the season, he was amazing. Second half of the season, he's someone you always have to watch for getting in trouble and getting sent off.
I feel like with him, it's more of like dumb youth, right? Like I think he does realize like he's probably the best defender we have on our team, and so he needs to do a little bit more than he should have.
Yeah,
and is a little more aggressive than he should.
But every defender who's sent off is the worst defender on your team. You know what I mean? Like
Cole got red carded after what a minute when he didn't take the throw in round time.
Yeah, but it's like, and I get that he's a young kid, but if they re-signed Rolf Felcher for another year, it's because Julian is card trouble.
Right.
And if he wasn't card trouble, I would be certain Felcher's gone and be ready to move on from that guy. I don't know whether they're going to keep Rolf Felcher or not because
not even a B minus.
He played Felcher. The first half of the season, I thought he was exemplary. The second half of the season, at least with his caution and his card record, he becomes reckless. He becomes someone we have to watch. He's a benefit in his attack, and he's a benefit even in his defense most of the time. But when he's brash, he's really brash.
Yeah, I think a good way to put it is exceptionally immature. And I agree with you, Tuck. I think a C is a good grade for him because of his immaturity. Because Tucker's right.
He's young, dumb, and full of
fun.
And full of red cards.
Fun. Yeah.
But that's. Yeah. I like him, and I'm really hopeful for him. I think he's going to be really good. I'm not as certain as everyone else is that he's going to Europe. I think he could hang out here for a while. But I expected more of him this year than I ended up getting. And I really liked what I saw on the front half of the season. But as the team got worse, like Julian went off a cliff.
Yeah, it was like he checked out a little bit. Like I said, I think
everyone kind of had those mental lapses and those mental struggles. And maybe to that point where the players were saying GBS wasn't really holding guys accountable, Julian would go out of the side with a suspension, would come right back in as soon as he was healthy. Like we knew GBS was desperate, and Julian got treated like GBS was desperate, because a young player, if Nick DePuy had the card situation that Julian Araujo had, he would have been out way earlier. But it was an act of desperation that he had to play Julian Araujo. As you say, when he was on, he's the best defender we had, which should be embarrassing for everyone else. So it's not trying to be too harsh on that kid. I still expect huge things for him, but he's got to clean that discipline record up.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of one of the things that, when he first started, got on the scene, it was more like, hey, this kid kind of needs to work on that, offensive part of his game, where his crosses were pretty poor. And he did. He definitely worked on it.
He added some muscle. He's fast. He's gaining national attention, which is great, because we haven't had someone breaking through to the national team since Leggett and Giassi.
On both sides of the border.
Yeah, like it's I'm loving it, man. But I need him to tighten it up so we don't keep having to have a Rolf Felcher in the wings waiting to see if Julian's going to stay on the field or not. And lastly, I had Emiliano Insua, who I gave a C+ to. He had some rough parts of the season, but he's still getting acclimated to the league, and I think it was taking some time. He played all 22 games, 1,891 minutes, got 2 assists. Both of them were game-winning assists. I thought he was fine, a little better than, in some aspects, a little better than I expected. It can be a little nightmarish, but I think next season is going to be a bit better for him.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really have expectations coming in for him. Like, I really never really saw him before, and when he's one of the best players on the field, but when he's off, man, it's bad. So I think an average grade is probably.
All right, Tuck. So what was the grade you gave Sasha again?
Sasha, I gave Sasha, I gave a B.
You gave him a B.
Okay, so you gave a B to Sasha, a D to D Bingham, and a C to Araujo, C+ to Insua.
Correct.
All right, Ed.
So my first 4, I have Traore, who I gave a D. He came on, and when he got his chance, he didn't take too much advantage of it. He didn't really get that many minutes this season, so like what Chris says with the other guys, it's like a wasted year for a guy who I mean, probably won't be your starting left back.
No.
As a backup, sure, maybe. In a pinch, fine. Zubac, I gave him a D.
Real quick with Traore, Ed. Real quick, I mean, in all fairness to Traore, in a regular year without COVID, he's playing more games in G2 than he is with the Galaxy.
No, who's the backup then? Who's the backup left back?
With the back,
Danilo Acosta.
Yeah,
he's injured.
For what?
He's right. He was injured for the year.
Well, not for the whole year. He
was injured for literally the whole year. Yeah.
He got injured in like February.
Yeah, he was injured literally the whole year. Yeah, it would be Traore.
So because of Acosta, Traore has a wasted year. I agree. Acosta deserves an F.
It happens.
I agree with you. Acosta
just because he's your boy, man. Just because Traore is like your dude. Don't try to give.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think he's a little, when he is on the field, he's not there yet.
Yeah,
he's not at that level yet. I would play him back at G2 if I'm moving Mauricio Cuevas to right back permanently, and Jonathan Perez is starting at right wing permanently. Like, that works. That gets Traore regular minutes to play. This is saying we're not in a reserve league. Gets Traore regular minutes to play. Puts Mauricio Cuevas on a side with a partner that he's around the same age, so they can potentially progress to the first team together. Like, Yeah, that works. Traore should be playing G2. No disrespect to Isaac Bawa, but let's progress.
Yeah, I think you definitely see a Traore as like your reserve league player, not going back down to G2.
So wait, who's next?
Go on it.
Okay. Because I can't see you guys, so it's
Ben's making fun.
We've tried. Of course he is, because he's a dick and an asshole. Both at the same time.
He's a dick and an asshole?
Yeah, at the same time.
Wow.
It's possible. Zubac, I gave a D. I would give him an F, but I mean,
that's unfair.
He tries. He tries.
Really I don't know, dude. He was getting on you about the grades you gave, saying those were a little harsh.
Yeah. That's why I tell you, everyone else is wrong.
Dude gets his first career gold.
But let him argue it. Let him not argue that.
Can I talk? I let you guys talk. Let me explain.
That's what I told him. I just told him to let you speak. I'm on your side.
Damn, guys, let me talk.
He's a dick and an asshole at the same time.
Exactly. The reason why is, I mean, come on, man. A lot of those times too, like, if you can give Zubac a perfect cross in the box and he still will somehow mess it up.
Yeah.
You give him the opportunity. This is your opportunity. Even I would give him a better grade if some of those he took advantage of, and he never did.
Okay.
And it's just not going to work out. I would give him an F. It was a failure, and especially being the only guy, literally the only guy who was going to play up top.
Who has? If I could just ask a question, who has Chicharito?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to wait until your Chicharito answer.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I think.
Don't worry, he has the worst grade.
I'm sure.
I think the grade's a little harsh. For one fact, is that he was not put in a position to succeed.
That's that.
He was set up to fail. You can't get. I would say a D is harsh.
I think D is harsh.
Yeah.
But I
mean, you give him a better grade than a D, really?
C minus? Not even a C minus.
No.
I mean,
he was average. Dude, he was average for you.
He was not put in a position to succeed by any
stretch. Look at it this way:
he's a striker. If you're a striker and you're not scoring goals, you deserve less. You deserve a D or an F. That's just plain and simple.
So, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
If we called up Carson Klein, and Carson Klein played 11 games or however many games Ethan got. We called up Carson Klein. Carson Klein played 11 games, and you had to rate his season. You would give him an F.
I would give him an F.
Even though you understand that person is not put in a position to do the job that's being asked of them.
Dude, you gave someone an F grade when they just injured themselves for the whole entire year. Like, how is that any better?
He's on loan from an MLS team. Let's be honest, man. With all due respect to the brother, he's on loan from an MLS team. What is his job prospects as a soccer player if you are on loan from an MLS team to an MLS team and you get hurt for the entire year? Your own club already said they don't want you. The new club you just went to has no reason to keep you on outside of the fact that you might be a nice locker room guy. What grade do you give that season?
If you're a striker and you're not scoring goals, I'll give you enough every day of the year.
All right, I'll leave it.
That's my argument, dude.
Okay. I'll leave it.
Next is Stairs. I gave Stairs a C minus. Real step down from him from the last couple of years where he actually looked like he made some progress. I mean, again, this defense just went to shit again, and it just seems like Stairs is not as. I mean, it's obvious Stairs is not a starter in this league. Like, he should be like your backup guy coming off the bench, but it is what it is with the Galaxy defense. So I gave him a C minus
for Stairs.
Yeah.
Being the best of 3 mediocre center backs. That seems fair. Yeah. Down with that, Ben? You good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And then the last one on my first round, I had probably the only person that maybe deserves an A is going to be Christian Pavone.
Kishan.
But even then, I gave him an A minus because
shit, Bobby Brown's son just died, or at least they found him.
Okay, that's random as hell.
Yeah, Bobby Brown Jr. Rip.
I went with an A minus because just that last,
that fall off.
Yeah, maybe didn't look like he really was into it all that much when a certain player came back on the field. Yeah, really the really turned it off a little bit. So I went with an A minus. I mean, I think he's been our best player this entire year, but that's not saying much on this group of players.
Yeah, that seems fair.
All right, Benjamin, you're first 4.
My first one is Joe Corona. I gave Corona. Hold on. First, I want to review your grades, Ed, before I get into mine. So you Gave Triori and Zubak D's, Stara's a C minus.
You think Didi
Pavone
Triori and Ethan Zubak had the same grade of season?
No, if I'm doing that, I'd probably give
now
Triori a worse grade than Zubak.
Okay, so where do you put Zubak?
I'll still give him a D.
We just gave Triori or whatever. You'd be a terrible teacher.
You gave Sasha a B. Really, you gonna argue about grades?
Yeah, my shit's accurate.
So
baby.
I'm gonna start.
My shit's accurate, son.
I'm gonna start with the obvious.
I don't know how you give Christian Pavone an A minus. That's
And then you gave Araujo a worse grade than Insua. Araujo, our best defender, and you gave him a worse grade than Insua.
Yeah.
So come on, your shit's invalid.
Look, you know what your issue?
Your shit's invalid, son.
You know what your
shit's invalid.
You know what your issue with? It's
Shit's
God,
invalid.
here we go. We got to count every grade, Ed. Just the legal ones. No, your problem shouldn't be with me giving Julian Araujo a C. Your problem should be Julian Araujo, who should have been an A or a B for the season, dropping down to a C based on how he played the last 7 games. I love the kid. He's great. The tackle he had that got him the red card could have ended that dude's career. And it was completely unnecessary. He gets yellow cards that are completely unnecessary.
I agree with you there.
That's all I'm saying.
Still better than Insua, though.
Oh, God. And Insua had 2 game-winning assists.
We'll move on.
Game-winning assists. We won, 4 games this year? 5 games, right? I think we won 5 games this year. Insua had game-winning assists for 2 of them. From left back. Playing all 22 games. Did Julian Araujo play all 22 games? No, because he can't stop fucking getting red cards. Done, son. Don't fuck with me. What's wrong with you? You got to know I got my shit, Ed.
Go on, Ben. Go on.
God damn it.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. Keep going, Tucker.
No, I'm good. Come on, man.
Keep going. Go.
He's like,
Ben,
Julian
go.
Araujo fucking balled out until he can't play
I
because
didn't
he
say
gets
bald.
sent off.
Look, he was a better defender, and you gave him a worse grade. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. Hey, it's fine. We can disagree.
No, it is fine.
It's okay.
All right. Well, I'll start with the obvious. I got Pipo, and he's getting an F. But I'm gonna give him an F plus because he played all right in the and got a goal in the last couple games.
You don't give him a D minus for earning his spot back.
I thought about that. I thought about giving him a D minus, but I'm gonna fuck that bastard. He gets an F. For the money he makes,
But
for the contribution he gave, for the money we have to spend on him, he's getting an F plus.
Okay.
So
that's.
Then I had Joey Beers. I gave Joey Beers a C. I thought he took a step back from what he did last year.
I completely forgot he was on the Galaxy until you just said his name.
Exactly. That's kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he did an adequate job.
He turned out to be more Servando Carrasco than I would have thought he'd be.
And he wasn't great, but you know what? He wasn't necessarily a liability. You go out there and you knew what you were going to get from him 9 times out of 10. I had Cameron Dunbar, who I gave an incomplete because I got to see more. I got to see more of him. I love him. If I have to give him a grade,
let us breathe, Ben.
I'm gonna get Tuck. You'll notice here, this isn't just like kicking in. So I gave him an incomplete, but if I had to give him a grade, I give him a C.
That's fine.
Because I think that he did what was asked of him.
Yeah, I think he's another wasted year, and it's not his fault, and it sucks. Mm-hmm. But it's the same for Triori. I
mean, you could definitely.
Season.
He added energy when he came in. Almost every time that he came in, he added something to the team.
You know where I would have given him something greater than a C, and it would have nothing to do with his actions on the field. He found a way to get the social media of the Galaxy world buzzing about him. As a guy, most people who don't follow, G2 and the academy system and stuff like that, most people had no idea who he was. He went from being completely irrelevant, no one knowing who he was, to having people go, why won't you give this guy a fucking chance? The other ones aren't working. At 17 years old, 18 years old.
Tuck, it's because we don't take marketing into consideration.
It's way last. Way last.
Yep.
Every DP we have is just some dude you knew, but way last. Way last.
And I had Jonah, who I gave a D to.
Ooh.
I just think that even when he was on the field, he didn't do enough.
It's a step back year.
Yeah, it was definitely a step back year. I'm hoping it was just the injury, but it seems like, when he's,
And mine didn't quite seem there this year.
Well, it's when he's with another Mexican national team player, it's like he's he's taking a step back.
I don't know. We'll see. Next year is a fucking gigantic year for Jonathan. Huge year for Jonathan.
Yeah.
D seems harsh, but he definitely wasn't passing.
No.
I can't say he passed. Yeah, I guess D plus.
So let me just tell you this. He had 0 shots on goal this year.
Oof. God damn. It's worse when you take in Javier Hernandez and Ethan Zubak and how few shots they were getting off. Like it puts a brighter spotlight on that stat. He's not someone you're really expecting to score a ton of goals. I think he only has 5.
Yeah.
But you in a season when you're the captain and they're struggling to score goals, like you got to be fucking banging. You got to at least be taking shots on them.
And that was another thing I took into consideration, the fact that he was the captain and he wasn't on the field enough.
Yeah. So it's a yellow season for him. It's a yellow captain season for him. 100%. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah. So
those shots on goal this season?
No shots on goal.
That's
Last
insane.
year he had 2 goals, 3 assists.
Holy shit, you're
this
right.
year he had 0-0-0.
13 games.
13 games, 7 started.
700 minutes.
Yeah.
No goals, no assists.
No shots.
2 shots, no shots on goal.
Yeah.
6 fouls committed, 5 fouls suffered.
Yeah.
It's just not enough.
No. And
It's
that
not enough
was
at
the other
all.
thing I took into consideration was the fouls committed.
You can make
especially
6 fouls
In
all season.
his that's not even 1 per game.
And-
That's not even 1 per game he started.
In the six fouls, you still got a yellow card.
Yeah. As a defensive midfielder, that's
It's
unacceptable.
just not good enough, man.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not good
So,
enough.
Especially with like the year that he had last year, you're like, well, he's gonna have a banger every year, and then
You were
well, even
as a whimper.
counting the injuries, that's going from being a necessary cog. That's going from being the steering wheel of the team to not being there. You don't need to be there at all.
Yeah.
No, you don't put in a tackle. You're soaking up ground, soaking up space.
I think people in the chat are putting it right where they're saying like he seemed distracted. He seemed like he wasn't there mentally this year.
That's the first thing I told you. The mind just ain't there this year. So hopefully he bounces back. Yeah, D might be fair, man.
I think that's fair.
That's fair. He definitely is passing.
Especially for expectations.
You could give him an F. You could give Jonathan an F for the year.
I don't think you can argue that either.
Expectations, the captaincy. You're the captain of the club, and the one thing you keep hearing from the fan base is they don't look like they give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the captain of the organization. Like, say what you want about Yellow on the field, someone would have got murdered.
Yeah.
Robbie Keane, someone would have got murdered.
Yep.
I can't even, as bad as they were with Zlatan, I can't imagine like people walking.
Zardes still has Vietnam flashbacks of Robbie Keane.
Yeah. So to recap, Corona is a C. Pipo got an F plus. I gave Dunbar an incomplete /C, and JDS got a D. Tucker's back to you.
That's crazy.
Tucker, your last 4, sir.
My last 4, I have Sebastian Leggett, Efrain Alvarez, Yanni Gonzalez, and Jonathan Klinsmann. I feel like this one might be a little outlandish. I gave Leggett a B. I gave Leggett. What do you? Just on the grade, just on the letter. What do you think?
Ed's face, man. Ed, what
It's
do you
hard
think?
with the Jet this year because it's like at this point I don't really expect much from him.
Am I grading on a curve? Maybe I got to figure that out. I don't know if I'm grading on a curve yet. I probably should have figured that out before I started this.
Yeah, it was fine.
Well, I mean, he had
But for
21 appearances,
I
played in all but 1 game. 6 goals. I think he came in second as leading goal scorer. 6 goals, 4 assists.
behind Pavone.
Just about a goal scoring contribution every other game. When we were good, Leggett was playing well.
Yeah, I agree.
Or perhaps I should say, when Leggett was playing well, we were good.
And that's a scary thought.
When we played during those 4 games where Cha and Jonah were out, Leggett was probably the most important person on the field. Pavone, obviously the best technical player we have, most skilled, most gifted. But into the play, Leggett was probably the most important person we had on the field.
Yeah, that's fair.
It shouldn't be that way.
No,
We're going to grade the FO later. It shouldn't be that way. But given this season, like, I found myself finding a new respect for Sebastian Lletget at points in the season. He definitely had his down moments, and I think you guys burn hot and cold on players really, really fast in a strange way, where at one point you hate them, and then 3 weeks later they're your favorite player, and 5 weeks later you fucking hate them. Like, try to
welcome to LA Galaxy fandom.
To Twitter, yeah. Like, if you try to take it as a more balance of the entire story, when we were good, Lletget was outstanding. Like, Lletget was good enough to work his way back into the national team as the only MLS player, right? As the only MLS player to fly out because, you know, the team was out of the playoffs. Like, he worked his way back into a national team call-up this season. Look how bad we were. He worked his way into the national team to play forward because that's what we relied on. So I don't know. I gave him a B. That seemed fair.
I think it's fair. I mean, I would do more in the B- range, but yeah, I think it's probably one of his best years he's had with us for sure. And that's saying something.
At least in a long time since Bruce.
But we're for sure. And this is the time, Chris. If there's ever a time,
he's
back with the national team.
I'm on board with you now.
He's back with the national team. He's getting. Dude, it's the time to pull the trigger.
I will, sir. You were right, 100%. I'll never make this mistake again. I appreciate everything Sebastian Lletget did for us, 132 appearances, but now it's time for so long. Sell him what you can get, whatever you can get, and use the allocation money he's going to free up from his contract with us, and whatever allocation money we acquire by moving him to presumably New England or some other team that would enjoy a nice domestic, and start using that money to retool the system to try to get the most out of Javier Hernandez, because that still has to be the goal.
So in the YouTube chat, Jose Orozco says, CB gets an A only because he had his, he had hose on the side. His girl found out and wrote a song about how she's still down for him.
Right. I mean, that's big. That's real big dick energy right there.
You got to give it to him. All right, Chris, continue on your gradings.
Still my man. Next up, I had Efrain Alvarez. I gave him a C+. 16 appearances, 6 starts, 718 minutes. Scored his first league goal. Got 2 assists. I would have hoped for a little bit more out of him, especially if we needed an attacking midfielder a lot. He played the assist. He played the assist we all waited for. And
oh yeah,
you know,
I'm like,
you know what?
You know what?
You know what? I'm gonna give him a B-. I'm gonna give him a B- just for the Javier Hernandez assist, because the even if the season was terrible and even if we couldn't pull that game out and win it, the level of catharsis that came from Javier Hernandez scoring, and it was, you got to give him this. You got to give him this. That's the ball. That's the ball. That's the ball that he needs. And I don't really think Efrain took advantage of the opportunities that he did get in large.
No.
But that's the exact ball Javier Hernandez needs to be successful. And one dude figured it out.
This should have been the year where he needed to step up. I think we called it in the beginning of the year.
16 appearances. That's a step up from last year.
I mean, but I think you want him to put up more numbers, I think.
You want him to put up more numbers, but I mean, this team isn't good. You have to take that into account too. I think that you could say that it was a bit of a step up. I mean, it certainly wasn't a step back, and I don't think you could say he stayed the same. So I think you got to say it was maybe not the step up you wanted to see. Maybe it wasn't this big giant leap forward where he breaks into the starting 11 and does well. But I mean, I think it's definitely a step up from where he's been.
It is.
Well, I think by a step up, I mean, I wanted him to see him contribute more. It just seemed like when he was on the field, there was a lot of the times where he just seemed lost. And he seemed like the game was...
He drifts... we played him at right wing so much. He's not a right winger. Yeah. Didn't work at G2. They played him at right wing on G2. It didn't fucking work. They played him at attacking midfield with Ethan Zubak. They took off. If you're going to play him, play him in the middle. I understand not being able to play him in the middle when Lletget is having one of the best seasons of any of your players and he plays centrally. But if you play Efrain on the right wing, he's going to drift inside. That's what he played like Messi. You play him on a outside part, he's going to drift inside. I'd like to see him get a run of games inside, but as a young player who graduated from the second team, got a first team deal, we played 22 games. He touched the grass 16 of them. Even if it's killing time, he has officially worked himself into the system. And that it's not a huge leap forward, but it's progress. And given our history with young players, progress is a massive thumbs up. It's a massive
That's true.
thumbs up.
That is
like,
true.
He's going to feel important. He's going to feel like he's a part of the system. He's going to feel like next year, he's not going to feel like I'm the rookie on the team. Next year, he is a first teamer that is used to going into that locker room. You know what I mean? B minus, very, very fair grade in my opinion. And I'm going to tighten this up because I don't really care about the next two people. Next I had Yoni Gonzalez, gave him a C minus. He played 9 matches, he was in 9 matches, started 6 of them played 6 of them at center forward, had 1 assist over 482 minutes. I'm going to give you a passing grade just barely because like Ethan Zubak, you were absolutely not put in a position to succeed. You got brought in as a right winger. A desperate coach had to play at center forward more often than in your preferred position because he had to. And you played as a point, a number 9 in a 4-2-3-1. You played as a number 11 in a 4-4-2. We loaned you because you were probably the best we could get at the time, and we didn't have a plan to use you. Wish you best in wherever you go from here. It's not going to be here, but it just disappointing from top to bottom, and not entirely his fault. Jonathan Klinsmann, I gave him a C as well. Tough to grade him on just 4 games. Conceded 11 goals, which is really, really rough. But I mean, I think he tied, who did he tie? Clement Diop. I think he tied Clement Diop in goals conceded with like a third of the games played. But the defense he has in front of him coming in the middle of the COVID season after being brought in and moving and relocating countries, like hell of a year. Not enough to really grade him on it. You got to give him credit for winning a job.
Really thought he was going to replace Bingham.
You got to give him credit for winning a job. You got to take some points away from immediately losing it. Although I still think losing it was more of a man management decision than having a pissed off David Bingham in a locker room. When the one thing Dom does is settle the locker room down. So I got the move to pull Klinsmann, but I also got the move to pull Bingham and put Klinsmann in. So C seems like a fair grade. That's the end.
All right.
Yeah.
My last 4, I have Gordon Wild. Like Ben, I wanted to give him like an incomplete, but I guess if I have to grade him, I mean it's an F. I mean, wasted year, and not entirely his fault.
For who?
If you for Gordon Wild.
Okay, yeah, I feel bad for that guy.
Yeah, it's not entirely. I mean, if you've heard some stories, it's not entirely his fault for not getting those minutes, but I mean it's just a wasted year and not really much to say. My next player I have is Carlos Harvey. I gave him a C minus. I thought he came in and took advantage of his opportunities when he had them. Sometimes he looked like he could be a guy who could come in and give you 45 minutes for a game. And other times it just looked like he was not up to speed on coming up to MLS level. But I
what
think
did you give him? C
minus.
I gave him a C minus.
What did you consider?
I could probably bump that up to just a regular C.
I was gonna say, would you consider giving him a C if only he gave me the wonderful stat of a player signed by Galaxy 2 who was immediately signed by Galaxy 1 the next day? That may not happen again. Like loan to Galaxy 2, loan to Galaxy 1. I may not get that again. So you toss it in for there.
You know what? I'll bump it up to a C.
There we are.
It's you can't really say it was a bad season. You can't really say it's good season. He got some minutes.
It was 2 weeks later.
He got some minutes. Next is Kai Koruniak.
Let's go.
I mean, I gave him a C plus. I mean, he came in and took advantage of his few minutes that he had. He looked good. He gave some energy to the team. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I was excited to see him when he came up from G2 because I've seen him play, and I actually really like him, and I think he can definitely contribute off the bench, especially.
Kai highlighted one of my major issues with GBS. You didn't have a winger, an actual winger to put in, and you could have swapped Pavon over and played Koreniuk at left wing. And, even when we were winning, you could play Koreniuk and give Pavon a break. Or if we're losing, you could send a message and put Pavon on the bench. Or you can push Pavon up and play Koreniuk on the wing. Like, there were options to use some of these guys instead of, like, he becomes a Frank Yallop, Ruud Hulick kind of coach. because he called up promising young kids and just took a year from their career.
Yeah.
You know, when you could have used them like Efrain got used, not a ton of minutes, but at least a couple of appearances. I
think those are issue with, the Dunbars and the Gordon Wilds and these guys who were, brought up into this team, and you're just like, why aren't you at least giving them 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here? Like, give them something.
I don't know. But that again, that is more of the overall issue with Schelotto as a manager.
Yeah, I agree.
Ed, your last guy?
And then my last guy is obviously the one, the only.
Say it.
You ready?
Say
Want to do it? 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. Chicha! Oh, it's still going.
Yeah, we probably should practice that and harmonize a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear. It's an F, man. I mean, there's nothing more than a failure in this season for him.
So racist.
And it's kind of sad because if you grade him like how you guys graded some other people, it's like, well, he wasn't given, he wasn't really put in the position to what was that? I'm sorry.
To succeed.
Yeah, to succeed. Which, I mean, yeah, but you're also brought in for, nearly $10 million, and you should score more than, 2 goals, 3 goals in the entire season?
Mm-hmm.
And, not be injured when it seems convenient to be injured.
Oof.
But,
Ed with the bars. Yeah, I mean, if you're taking in the total weight of expectation in Javier Hernandez, a fail is a fair grade, right?
It has to be. It can't be anything other than that.
So are you taking in the total weight of expectation in Ethan Zubak in giving him a slightly higher grade than Javier Hernandez?
No, again,
because that's why I said I'd wait. He had to know I was going to wait.
I know he's holding.
He had to know. I said I wanted to hear the argument for Hernandez, because if it was just on-field ability, I got no problem with your Zubak rating. I just don't understand how Ethan Zubak is a D and Javier Hernandez is an F. If you as a look, there are people who would say Ethan Zubak's an F, but you as someone who should be a more educated opinion of the Galaxy, the expectation of Javier Hernandez solidified him in an F, halfway through the year.
Because from what I expected from Zubak is to get 2-3 goals. Like, that's what I expected from Zubak.
Like, how is that?
And he has 2 goals. So, but it's a D because he's terrible. He's not good. That's a fail. Shouldn't get higher than a D.
Okay. I just needed to express what my logic in thinking about your Zubak, and I agree with you about Javier, and it's a shame, and it's a mixture of all the bad grades. It's a mixture, injury for the season, the heart not necessarily seeming there, the weight of expectation, all of it. He might be responsible for a lot of people being out of a job right now at a really bad time to be out of a job. He may end up being instrumental in finally removing Chris Klein from the Galaxy. And
maybe then I'll give him a higher grade.
But we're
that means we're still shitty though.
There is this weird uber negative energy around Galaxy social media spaces, and a lot of it in part is, at least I should say about Javier Hernandez, if not necessarily because of Javier Hernandez. I had low expectations, and they were definitely way higher than this. So F seems like the only grade it could possibly be.
Yeah, I think coming to the season, everyone was like 15 goals, 20 goals.
And it's just
not. And they get 3.
It's just not.
3.
Not happening.
So, I mean, you can't really argue that it wasn't a failure.
I like to think he would openly admit that it's a failure.
I mean, that's kind of what he did, right? When he had that open letter to fans and saying it wasn't a year that he expected, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he probably vlogged it on his YouTube channel.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of weird negative energy about this kid. When I say kid, I mean fucking 32-year-old guy.
The dude is a year younger than you?
2 years.
Oh, whatever. All right, Benjamin, your last 4.
All right, I'll start my last 4 with Rolf Felcher, who I gave a D to, and I thought that was maybe being a little generous. I thought that as a defender who only commits, again, 16 fouls in 17 games. It's kind of a little ridiculous. He did have 2 assists, though, this year, so that's why I gave him the D.
Yeah, you gave him the D, baby.
Hey, man.
All over
Have
his
you seen
back,
that?
huh?
He's a
he's a showpiece, as they say.
Yes, he is. I can't.
You don't look like a sister. You won't have a chance.
A sister.
I know. Damn, you get all racial on his head. All right.
How's what?
Dupuis, I gave a B or a B minus. I wasn't quite sure. I mean, he came in. He seemed to steady the defense when he came in. But then he lost his spot at the end of the year. So I don't know. I don't think that I would go any less than a B minus.
I agree with that.
You know,
From what you expected to, right?
well, yeah, exactly. And it was
Would you
the
expect of
surprise.
Ethan again?
Nothing.
I can't wait to get the tweets of like fucking Tucker defending Ethan Zubak. I'm
Yeah,
not
man.
defending Ethan Zubak. I'm attacking Ed. It's different.
His balls are on your chin.
That's a good.
He's
Christian.
feeling your tonsils in the back of.
Praying to the shaft, Ed.
Yeah. So nobody would have thought that Dupuis would have played more than 1,400 minutes like he did this year.
Yeah, he got Nick Depew doubled the minutes Efrain Alvarez played. Did you think you'd say that at the beginning of the year?
No.
I would give him a B. Where are you?
Yeah, and he chipped in with an assist.
Yeah, and he didn't hold down starting all year. That's cool. You weren't supposed to. You did what you were supposed to do. You tackled the shit out of Carlos Vela. That's what I ask of my big ass center backs. That they crunch that fucker. That's it. That's what I need him to do, and he did it. Done. Was he great? No. That's okay. Neither was Steris or Giancarlo Gonzalez.
Yep. Nobody was great. Moving on to Cuello.
Holy shit, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, so did I. And
That's GBS's golden boy, dude.
So check it out. And so did the LA Galaxy. As I was looking up stats, I went to the LA Galaxy website. They had stats for everybody except for Cuello.
Damn. You want me to get him for you real quick?
No, I got him. And I looked him up. He ended up playing in 11 games this year. It's way more than I thought.
He was GBS's golden boy. He was the one who came off the bench like more often than
but
you would want him to.
he only got 232
230 something minutes.
Yeah, 232 minutes. But he had 2 shots on goal.
Oh my God, he's better than Jonathan.
Yeah. And he had 14 fouls committed.
Yeah, that's not good.
So.
Yeah. I like how you're excited about that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a bad stat.
Well, no. Well, considering this team and the amount of people that ran by this team,
I like that he tried.
I'm okay with 14 fouls. Yeah.
In a bad season, I like that in the limited minutes he got. Like you know what? For a team, I'm sure he only played in games that we lost. At least he fucking kicked somebody.
Yep. So that's why why I gave him a
probably.
C. I gave him a C. I'm like, all right, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's his
totally
last season.
forgot about him. Yeah, it was his last season.
His last
I mean,
year.
yeah, it's kind of like we just graduated him. You know, we just kind of continued him on.
Let him go out with a smile.
Exactly. And then I had Kevin Kitchen as my last player, and I thought Kevin had a decent year. I thought that he again, maybe it's expectation. I wasn't expecting what he gave. I gave him a B minus. He ended up playing in 21 games. He had 19 starts, played over 1,700 minutes, 6 yellow cards, which is kind of what you expect from someone playing that position. Yeah, he had 39 fouls committed. 39 fouls committed in 21 games. That's what you're looking for from a destroyer.
Yeah, he did his.
He did his job, and I think he did it better than most people were expecting. I gave him a B minus.
You could have bumped that up to an A minus, and I wouldn't have argued with you.
Yeah, see,
B
I feel like
seems low, if anything.
with Kitchen, he started off the year like pretty poor, and then like as he grew into it, like that's when he like started getting more into the game.
I thought Perry had an outstanding year. I don't think we'll keep him. I hope we keep him on a nice, sweet Rolf Felcher 1-year rolling deal. But if he ends up moving on, I think he's out of contract at the end of this year. If he ends up moving on, I like you much better than I did when you were at DC United. So I never would have thought I would like Perry Kitchen. I like Perry Kitchen. Best of luck, sir.
So to finish it off, the only person to get an A was Pavone. The only people to get B's was Kitchen, Sasha, Leggett, and Efrain. Ed, you didn't give a single B? Dang.
No one deserved it. Not on my list.
And everybody else was either a C or below. Sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are the Fs? We should go through the Fs.
The Fs was Chicha. The only Fs were it was Chicha and Pipo. Those were the only 2 Fs.
Bingham didn't get an F.
No, Bingham got a
bad
D.
defense.
Yeah, you gave him a D.
I give Wild an F, but that was more. Just
I might move Bingham to an F.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to move him to an F.
Okay.
It's a contract year. He had to do better. It's taking the totality of his season and coming off of the criticism he had last year, even with a porous defense. He had to be better than this. As a locker room leader, as a loud voice on the field, he had to be better. And he wasn't anywhere close. He lost his job. What the fuck am I thinking about? He lost his job to a guy we brought who wasn't in the organization like 2 weeks earlier. How is it anything other than an F? Bingham's going down to an F. I apologize. What the fuck was I thinking about?
Okay, so Chicha, Wild, and People got Fs. So we had a whole bunch of
Bingham.
Cs. A bunch of and that kind of
a whole bunch of C's.
See, but this is what shocks me is that
A bunch of C next Tuesdays.
If C is average,
And that's the title.
if C is average, this team was way below average. So maybe we even graded them a little better than we should have.
Were we not harsh enough?
Average. Like all these guys are average.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, look at the record; they were way below average.
Give me a player. Give me a player who got a C that shouldn't get a C.
Let's see. We got we'll go with Araujo. Well, no, he deserves a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
He had a C year.
So is this team? So are we saying average on this team is 5 wins in a 22 game schedule?
Bro, I told you a year ago we looked bad.
So what about a guy like Corona? Corona's a C?
No. You can give him a D. He just doesn't do enough. Like he doesn't really need to be here. If he left, I feel like
would anyone notice?
It would be relatively easy to replace him. It doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to replace him.
And for a cheaper option too.
So I don't know. I wasn't all that blown away by him.
Harvey's a C minus?
For what I expected, yeah. But I look at it based on what I expect going in.
Yeah. All right, front office grades, Ed.
Oh, fail.
Yeah,
everyone gets a fail.
You
no, just an overall.
Overall?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, I can't see how.
Actually, who wouldn't get an F?
They all fail. Every single one of them.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah. No.
You ain't wrong. People are way lighter in DTK than they ought to be. I don't understand why. I really don't get it.
Does he have a win? I mean, like who has he brought in? That's
Pavone on loan. That's it. Uriel Antuna, which all he did is put a player in a shop window for Manchester City. He didn't do anything for us.
Yeah,
and then I feel like Pavone was more of like a
was a GBS. Yeah.
But what you might get out of Uriel Antuna someday might not be the case right now. But what you might get out of Uriel someday might be a long-term thing. You're maybe not. It doesn't. I don't think it necessarily needs to be a Mexican international. But you're from North America, you're from the North American region, you're signed abroad, but they're not playing you. Come play here. Not only are we going to play you, we're going to play you in your preferred spot. We're going to play you regularly. We'll let you go for international duty, not a problem. You're going to be important. And look, it worked. Uriel Antuna's on the Mexican national team, got sold to Chivas, plays every week, partying, getting in trouble and going crazy. Like that's something that could reap benefits long term. We don't know it. It's something we have to keep an eye on.
Benjamin, I think it's time for the lightning round question, sir. Pew 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 pew.
That was tricky.
Okay, our first lightning round question is brought to us by Uncle Dishwasher.
My man.
Ed, he wants to know what's worse, COVID or realizing that our club's front office isn't changing?
Oh, it's absolutely about the front office. I would catch COVID again if that meant Chris Klein was out of as Galaxy president.
You guys, you understand COVID's killed 250,000 people, right? Just in America.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do realize that the Galaxy front office has crushed.
No, I agree.
1 million souls.
I agree. I can't wait for Ed to run for city council someday.
Yes.
And that audio
that to come up.
Really?
Come back.
Really?
Hey man, You tell me. I'm not trying to limit your potential. Okay.
Okay. When I run for comptroller.
I see you as a leader of men. All right. I support you. Kings supporting kings, Ed.
All right. We gotta push ourselves up, man.
We gotta rise up, Ed.
We're beautiful kings.
That's it.
Yo, even with the case of COVID that I had, I think I still have to agree with Ed.
Well, you're not getting any. You're doing your best to stay in hiding as it is. So not much of a problem.
All right, so obviously we got to touch on the NWSL. We were asked,
let's go.
How much does it cost to run an NWSL team? Because no one's going up to.
Well, they got like 60 owners over there, right? I mean, it's so right. If you want to buy into Angel City FC, I don't know, you got lunch money, you probably get in there. Which isn't saying anything bad about them. They got a bunch of fucking owners, like it's splitting costs. Y'all understand? So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Is that all we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, so are you going up to the stank to watch the women's team?
Well, don't bury the lead, Ben. What happened?
So Angel City FC announced that they are going to play their home games at the stank.
You probably shouldn't call it that when you're talking about the NWSL.
That's true.
That's probably not going to work out too well for you.
Yeah, when it comes to the Angel City FC, that's when it's back to the Bank of California.
So what do they call that? Like, that's not going to be a phrase. If history's shown us anything with LAFC, that's not going to be a thing in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So what
well,
I don't know.
Isn't it already not the Bank of California Stadium anymore?
They maintained the name. Avaya changed over to San Jose Earthquakes, but Bank of California, for whatever reason, and you're right, it shouldn't be Bank of California, but it's still called Bank of California. Am I going to go up to Bank of California for an Angel City game? No, but I want to start really early, just before everyone starts tweeting me. If you want to go, that's perfectly cool.
It's all good.
If you don't want to go, that's perfectly cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care either way. You do whatever you need to do, and you really need to stop giving a shit about what other people think about how you spend your money. If that club works for you, great. If they don't work for you, great. I hope they are successful enough that Chris Klein and the Galaxy and AEG and Dan Beckerman and Philip Anschutz, I hope Angel City FC is successful enough that the Galaxy will finally do what's right and launch a women's team. I'm not going to ignore them. That's just, I wish them well. I hope they're successsull.
You already had an NWSL team that you
Let's go
supported.
Thorns, baby.
So you holding tight to the Thorns?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have an NWSL team, Benny. No, I hope the ladies do well. And I hope everyone supports them who wants to support them.
Well played, sir.
Hey, that's a general philosophy of my life, man. Do the things that make you happy and don't worry about the people who it upsets.
That was from Ramses, by the way.
What's up, Ramses? I love you, bro. Miss you.
Toon LA Old Guard wants to know, why wouldn't Pinedo be a good head coach? Being an assistant is where you make your bones, right?
I got no beef with
So he's kind of like the belle of the ball right now. He's kind of like
Jaime?
Yeah, I think No. Seattle's assistant coach.
Oh, Gonzalo or something?
Gonzalo Pineda. Yeah, I think he's actually been interviewed for like the DC job. He's kind of like the belle of the ball right now. So
good for him. I know. I remember him as a player for Seattle. Was very competent on the ball. Always seemed in control.
He seems to be in contention for some jobs. So I know someone brought it up on, I think, at the Discord, the Corner of the Galaxy Discord, about what would people thoughts about him being the next coach. I'm like, I struggle to realistically. Well,
I just struggle to realistically believe the Galaxy. If you're Klein and you're going for an assistant manager who's never been a head coach, isn't there a name that immediately gets to the top of your list? Like, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of Pineda because he's an assistant on a championship winning team in Major League Soccer. Like he's active in helping the Sounders be successful from a coaching standpoint. And Robbie hasn't done that. Certainly not in this league, and not in many leagues. I think he was at Middlesbrough for a heartbeat. I just have to imagine they're going for someone who has been a first team manager, head coach before, and Pineda doesn't really fit that bill. You don't go for someone who's never done the job.
They would give Dom the job over Pineda.
This is both of these guys' last head coach hire if it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it goes south quick, both of these guys are out of a job. I can't imagine it's someone who's never done the job.
Take the Wheel 64 wants to know, what is your ideal local TV deal for the G's?
Something with a easily Chromecastable app. That's all I really need.
Something that on like a local station where you don't really need a provider to
KDOC.
get your games.
like the
what is
Angels
it?
and Ducks games.
It's not UPN. It's not UPN anymore. What is it now?
Channel 13? It's like My LA 13 or something like that. You can call it UPN. If she doesn't remember UPN, she's too young for you.
She's too young for you. She's too young for you.
She's too young, bro. She's too young.
Yeah, I would love it if it was like just some local TV station.
We should get on PBS
Everyone
to
could
see
pick
if
up
we
with
can
some
get
bunny
some sweet tax dollars to fund some of these dumbass transfers.
And you can get a tote bag if you sponsor the channel for $20.
Celtic Women's going to be on. They're just going to be playing in the background. We got a new theme song. Bro, I love those Celtic Women. That shit's dope. You got to come on. If you see it on, you watch it.
Then you'll get your jerseys appraised and then see how much they're worth.
Yeah, there'll be a number 3 in the middle. It'll be nice.
Yeah. And like, this is a World War II LA Galaxy jersey.
Huell Hauser is a fucking shirt. Remember those Burger King jerseys where they flip them up? But instead we flip it up and it's Huell Hauser and it just says, "Oh boy."
That's amazing.
Wouldn't that be Huell Hauser as
you
our
guys both know way too much about PBS.
Huell Hauser as the guy who does like our LA Galaxy goal. But it's just like Christian Pavone scores and it's like, "Oh boy." Goal scored by number 10. Christian Pavone. Because he always sounds like he's amazed by anything he's ever seen.
Everything's amazing.
Rest in peace, Huell Hauser. Can we name this episode Rest in Peace, Huell Hauser? Everyone who isn't listening live will have no idea what we're talking about.
No, until like 2 hours into it, 2.5 hours into it.
They talked about Huell Hauser for 20 seconds. All right, that's the name of the episode.
All right, cool. Carlos Schmarlos wants to know, is there hope for the 2021 kits?
The away kit?
No.
What's away next year?
They're not going to redo the home?
No, we just
I thought that this year's home was just for this year, for the 25th year.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't.
No. We're going to keep it next year.
What? I've seen the away, and it's very nice. So, thumbs up. Everything's okay. At least what I saw was very nice. I don't know if it ends up staying.
You got some insider info, Chris? You want to?
But of what I saw, I liked it. I could be wrong, but again, is this the whole theme of this episode? Why do you care what other people think? I thought it looked nice. You may not like it.
Yeah, if you liked it, you liked it.
There's a lot of people who like Night Navy, and I think like they have a learning disability. Like Night Navy is hideous, but a lot of people like it. Who gives a shit whether I like it? I liked the jersey I saw for next year. You may like something else. I don't know. Rest in peace, Huell Hauser.
There you
go. LA Galaxy, California Gold.
That should be the next jersey color.
That's a good name.
I know. Now all of a sudden we got like 6 names.
Yeah, baby.
All right. El Yank 138. If we buy Pavone and Hernandez stays, do you sell Jonathan to try and get another DP?
Oh man.
Or keep him and try and build around our current DP?
Imagine you bring in Javier Hernandez and then you sell Jonathan Dos Santos and you're like, yeah, man. Now you're just here alone on the Galaxy. You can talk.
You got no one now.
Yeah. You know who you talk to? You talk to Sebastian. You guys get chemistry. Do we sell Jonathan? I don't know, man.
You can talk to the dude banging your wife.
Who's buying him? I mean, the rumor is always America, right? That he wants to go play with Gio. But like he did that here.
I mean, you would find a suitor for him in Mexico. Whether you get what you want, or what he's worth for here.
What is he worth here?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
But like, what elevates a fee to a level that someone's unwilling to pay. Like, is there really a break?
I mean, has he's not like in the Donovan realm where he's worth more here than he is in Mexico, is he?
To this administration, prior to Hernandez, I would have said yes.
But now that we have Hernandez,
gotta keep him happy, dude.
Mbappe?
I said gotta keep him happy.
Oh, I think you said gotta get Mbappe.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's a hell of a plan, Ed.
That's the easy way to, of course.
I don't know, man. I could see them getting that dude on an extension. Like sign him an extension,
put him in the TAM.
2-year extension with a club option, and him and Hernandez roll out of their contracts at the same time. It's probably around the time you're going to sell Pavone anyway, if you get him on a deal. Because we signed Pavone, we're going to try to get him for like a 4 or 5 year deal so that we have an investment in him when we end up selling him abroad. So maybe you sign Pavone, it's a 4-year deal. He gets 2 years, flip him. Javier's out in 2 years, move on from that project. Jonathan's realistically out in 2 years, and he can go play at Club America, do whatever he wants.
No, the only thing I have an issue with that is that makes way too much sense for the Galaxy to even attempt to do something like that.
I like projects where it's a very clear start and end date, and it's like we can ride this whole project out to this logical conclusion date, or you can kind of blow it up now and make your moves. I can see that working.
Transfer Market has Jonah listed at 1.76.
That's ridiculous. But that's that's a ridiculous number. Like Galaxy is not selling that guy for south of $2 million. His jersey sales are worth more than $2 million to them.
All right, that's all we got.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here, boys?
Yeah, I do actually. I have something else.
Go.
So the Galaxy never beat Reno 1868 until now, because the Galaxy got a W because they still exist. And Reno does not.
Reno collapsed.
Reno is gone.
That's fucked up. Really?
So we finally got a
W.
W.
About that?
I'm counting that as a W. I'm saying that's our first win over Reno.
Oh, that's
Tucker.
awful.
You didn't hear about that?
No, that's terrible.
So they got crowned USL champion because there was they didn't have a final because of COVID. So they were crowned USL champion and then folded the next week.
Oh man, that
not
sucks.
even the next week. I think like days later.
No, it was a couple weeks later. They did.
Are you sure?
Well, they announced they were going under on the 6th, so maybe that's probably a week and a half later.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like it was like right after they were crowned champion, and then within like days, a week, it was like we are suspending operations.
Yeah,
that's a big club at USL though. That's not good by any stretch. Like in the, not to end on a down note, but like in the terms of lower division US club soccer, that's a big team. And to have a big team go under like that is not great. But, hey man, I'm down with the petty. Fuck them.
It's that year, man. The year of no revenue. So these clubs are on the brink. Any year, even if it's a good year, they're on the brink of collapse.
Yeah, it's rough.
But no, everyone wants to promote and relegate these teams, and they can't even.
They don't understand. It's people are stupid. Like, but this is the other thing. Like, don't give license and avenue to stupid people. We should have promotion and relegation. Do you have any idea how much fucking money Philip Anschutz put into Major League Soccer? He owns the Galaxy now. You think we're playing Forward Madison? No disrespect. You think we're playing Memphis 901 or whatever the fuck they're called? No. The man put billions of dollars, probably Nazi gold, billions of dollars propping up Major League Soccer for decades. Are you crazy? What's wrong? But again, people are dumb. Like, people are stupid. People hold stupid opinions. You're welcome to hold a stupid opinion, but it's your
Chris, that's how they do it around the world. Why can't we do that?
Why? Because we're smart. Because promotion and relegation is dumb. It's a stupid business model. Unless you're currently at the bottom, it's a stupid business model.
Yes. I mean, show me one league where everyone in the top division, whether it's the Premier League, whatever, Serie A, wouldn't vote out promotion and relegation right now.
Oh, they would do it
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Everybody would.
Sound investment.
Yeah.
I think we should get rid of promotion and relegation in the Premier League. just to ensure that Sunderland never comes back to the Premier League.
Maybe after this year.
Yeah, well, Watford's sitting in second, baby. Let's do it.
I'm all about the Super League. All about the Super League.
Turkish? You're trying to get into the Turkish Super League?
I want to see the European Super League. Come on, man. Make it happen.
That'd be so boring.
Who cares? No promotion relegation.
No promotion relegation.
There you go.
Fuck them, man. Just watch USL.
Anything else before we get out of here, boys?
And NWSL. Watch NWSL too.
Yeah, there you go.
Pick
anything else before we get out?
Brand new team. Nah, man. Take care of your people. Be smart over Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Don't travel. Listen, just fucking look, man. Look, I really need to go back to a library to study. So if you guys could be smart and just do what they fucking ask you for just a little bit, man. Just a little bit.
And most of you can't stand to be around your family anyway, so just stay home.
Why the fuck are you crying about not being able to go to Thanksgiving then? You grown?
I'm not. Believe me. I feel bad for my mom. That's the one I feel bad for.
You need an edible or something?
Because she's the one who actually feels bad. She's like, I can't believe you're not going to be there. I'm like, oh, well, it happens.
Hey, man, COVID. Tough titties.
Well, yeah. I want to say tough titties to my mother, but yeah.
Here, let me call her.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, Benjamin, where can they find you on the socials, man?
You can find me at DT Radio Ben or at OldManBen3. You can email the show at RiotSquadcast.com. Unless you are a Russian bot, then you don't email us. But
tough titties.
Yeah. Tough titties.
Tough titties, bro.
That's it.
Chris, where can they find you on the socials, man?
Tough titties, Ed.
Jesus.
I'm gonna cut him off and just end it on tough titties.
No, please don't. You can find me on Twitter at ZeroCool138, and this week you can find me on Goodreads at ZeroCool130. I'm gonna try to get back into leisure reading at the end of this semester.
Oh, speaking,
Andrew,
I just got my Young Bucks book sent today.
Killing the business, Ed. I'm getting ready to start reading The Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health by Rahita Walker. So you want to read along with me if you're a black man, or if you want to understand black mental health, apparently, you're more than welcome. And be nice to each other. Speaking of being nice to each other, Megapod 4 on Sunday. Chris is going to be on his best behavior. Thumbs up. Right? Ed?
Are you?
I hope so.
Yeah. I'm in a good mental place, man. Doing okay.
Yeah.
Spiritual journey?
Spiritual journey.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at EdTheZombie13. You can find the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just search Riot Squadcast. If you haven't yet, subscribe on YouTube. Turn on those notifications, because on Wednesday night we will be live. That way you can join in on live chat. We love you guys. Stay safe. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Tough titties.
Thanks for the jersey, Kevin. Love you.
Tough titties.
Brian, suck a dick, bitch.
Woo! Oh, boy.